Hello, everybody. Uncle Doug and I are here today, and you are
Well,
unmuted. Hi,
hello
Glenna.
everyone.
Glenna just popped in here and said hello. I'm going to adjust my screen here so you guys can see me a little bit better. Just a little bit. Today is Wednesday. It's going to be a good day today. We have a beautiful selection of finished jewelry inspiration for you guys today. The Ancient Sun collection is what we're featuring, which I'm very excited for this one. You'll see that there are two different pieces that are making a reappearance from Jean and Ainsley's live of maybe a month ago, a few weeks ago. But we have the Filigree Sun that's coming back, which everybody has been loving this. And then these Starburst charms are also making a reappearance, but these ones are zinc and they are not pewter. So they're not the same ones that you'll find on our website. They look identical, but the base metals are different. So the ones that are on retail and wholesale are pewter with the sterling silver plate. These ones are zinc and they're silver coated. So they're plating. The plating on these, I don't even want to say plating, it's a coating because it's not as thick as what our platings are. So that's why we're calling it silver coated, because it's not as thick as our super, super high quality platings. Ooh, Kathy said, hello, ladies and Uncle Doug. Did you know my first douche hound was called Doug? He mostly went by
Dougie,
Dougie.
well, I'm always in the doghouse, so that's a pretty good name.
That is cute. Hi, Connie, Peggy, Jean, Kathy. It's so good to see everybody. I said hi to Glenna when she first popped in. But we do have a lot to go over today. So let's get started and we will bring you back on for some trivia, Uncle Doug.
Sounds good. See you
Okie
soon.
dokie. Amazing. Hello, hello. All right. We have Vintage in the comments. I am under the assumption that that's Aunt Jean, but I'm sure she'll let us know if it's either her or Wendy. And hi, Sherry. All right, let's get into some goodness here. And then there are several new pieces that you won't find on our site that I am showing you guys today. So let's start off with these. Cute. They're ancient urns. I think the cuter name for them, I think I called them perfume bottles at one point. Their real name is ancient urn, but I'm just going to say perfume bottle because it's cuter. All right, so let's get the normal pieces of these out so you guys can see what they look like before and then after I have finished them. So these are super beautiful. They are dapped. They are thinner. So it's a thinner natural brass, but it makes it easy for hammering some parts and not hammering others. Let's get this Carter up too while we're at it. So the natural brass pendant pack here that you're seeing is, I think it's DP176. Yes, DP176 for the natural brass ancient urn or perfume bottle. It is super detailed. If this doesn't freeze, there we go. You can see with the reflection there. Super pretty. It does have a large dap in it, so it's not flat by any means. Show you like this. So it's got that big cavern in there, which you could fill that with resin, which I think would be super cool, but I decided I wanted to do a half hammer on the little pieces here. So you see that the top part of this is untouched with the hammer, but the bottom part is hammered. So then you get that flat look with just a little bit of that top dap, which I think brings some dimension to it. So for instance, this would be trying to get a good like side view of what flat versus when it's dapped, which I know some people said they like it as is. They don't want to hammer it. I know the last time I featured these in a stash, I think I hammered the whole thing. So then I wanted to see what it looked like with like a half hammer knot and then a half not hammered, half hammered. So let's get into that. You're going to need your steel bench block and your rubber block to go underneath. There we go. I'll bring one of these down. Leave those in view for you. Super easy to do the half. You're just going to start, I would start down here at this side at the bottom and then work your way up until you reach that point where you don't want it to be flattened out any longer. Start hammering that baby down. I'm just doing the circle bottom part. Beautiful. I'm just going to bend it back with my fingers just a little bit to make sure that it's nice and flat and straight. Beautiful. And then we still have that elevated top part. See it from this angle. So we took that dap off the bottom and then left the dap on the top. And then for the paint combination, this one's really fun to do. You're going to need Dragon Eye and or antique or the metallic copper. So Dragon Eye or metallic copper, and then you're going to want white or marble for your accent color there. So you're going to need those. Take this down, get one of my silicone mats out here. It's got a little bit of blue on it, but that's okay. And you're going to need some paper towel to achieve this effect as well. So I'm going to rip some of that off. Hi, Chris and Stephanie. Hi, Carmen. Good to see all of you. Hi, Monica. Good morning. Glad to see you back again, you sweet thing. Okay. So, for painting this lotus, or not lotus, well, I guess you could, I would say like lotus perfume bottle or ancient urn. One or the other. Pick your favorite name. Anywho, you're going to need a bristle brush. I found made this easy. And then you're also going to need, let's grab like a head pin or an eye pin, something that has a very small point. And then I would choose probably either like brass, solid brass or natural brass. When you get into that sterling silver plating of the HPs or the EPs, it gets kind of hard to see the white paint on it because it's kind of the same color. So we'll just stay away from the silver plated and we'll just go with the natural brass pin in the meantime. All right. So we need to start off with a little bit of our Dragon Eye here. Dragon Eye or metallic copper. I'm going to try and say both names if you, just in case you only have it in the antique, the one-step antique glaze line or the normal paint line. You got to shake that up real good. I'm just going to put a dot of it up here, but I'm going to grab another head pin so I can unclog this. And this one I can use my silver plated one because I'm just using it to unclog. So I'm going to stick that in the nozzle there. And we should be able to get a little bit of this out. Beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful. Thanks, Stephanie. I really like the projects today as well. Very excited to demonstrate these for you guys. All right, keep those on view so we can see them. Wonderful. So you're going to dip a little bit Not a whole lot, just a little bit of your bristle brush, because a little bit goes a long way, especially on this piece. So we're just going to go through and coat the whole thing with your dragon eye or your metallic copper. And, you know, you can do this with other colors as well, but I'm just going to show you my process for the color combination that I have on the finished pieces. So just a nice light coating. Don't make it too thick because you still want to see the detail underneath the paint. Just trying to give it an antique, almost like a terracotta feel, but with like a little bit of that white. Get the loop up here, just a tiny bit more for my loop. Beautiful. Alright, so we have that coated. I'll wipe off my brush over there. I'm going to need to shake up this antique glaze. Shake it up real good or use your vortex mixer. Correct, Peggy. Thank you. Thank you, thank you. Just a little bit of white, because white goes a long way too. Alright. So at this point, I'm going to pick up some of the white on the tip of my head pin. Just a little bit. And I'm going to put it into the little dots here. So I put a little bit of white in each of these dots. I didn't wait for the paint to dry because I don't mind if the paint mixes a little bit. But if you don't want the paint to mix, definitely make sure your piece is dried all the way. And then you'll see that there's these little, so it's a little bit easier to see on this piece. So here's my beetle here, because it helps me point out things that are a little bit smaller that my fingers can't. So you see this little cavern here in the center of this little design. So you'll notice that there's a few of those. There's one right in the center, there's one off to the side here, one in the middle of this one, there's one down here, and another one right down here. So in those little caverns, you're going to do the same thing as you did with the dots there. You're going to take it, a little bit of this white or your marble with your head pin or eye pin, and you're just going to glaze right over those spots there. Just in those center areas. Beautiful. It's okay if you go outside of the lines. I think it makes it a little bit more unique. But I want to ensure that I have my white in these crevices before I partake in the next step. Alright. Because I need those a little bit more vibrant than the rest of it. Okay. That's looking pretty sharp. So you're going to go in all of those caverns there. I'm going to pull this up. Then I'm going to get my heat gun. Ooh, Janet's birthday's next week? How fun! Ooh, hopefully your husband does pull through. A vortex mixer would be a great gift. Oh, amazing! Here, hold on, Carmen. Hold on. Alright. I am new at this, but been ordering paints and experimenting with them. Love how you explain it. Thank you. Of course. Of course. All the ladies here know that I try my hardest to explain this in the best manner possible because I am one that learns by doing. I am not one that learns by watching or talking or like listening. It's really difficult for me to do that. So I'm like, my whole process is coming out of my mouth. Thanks. I think that's Aunt Jean. Thanks, Aunt Jean. All right. So after that's dry, then you're going to take your paper towel and pick up the rest of your white. It should only be a little bit. Don't do a lot because you're going to coat your whole thing. You don't want to do that. You just want to add these little white speckles around with your paper towel. to give it a little bit of an antique, which you'll see the copper underneath is just super beautiful because you can still see it just lightly through that white. And then you're going to take your relief block to it. Now your relief block is going to help you achieve the shiny look. So do you notice the difference between my detail here where it's more shiny versus this side? It's because I haven't reliefed that one yet. So I'm going to do that right now. We're going to grab a relief block out. Oh, you're so stinking sweet, Peggy. You're making me blush. Oh, yes. Also, check out Ainsley's and Jean's lives on Fridays. Also, Wednesday at 12 Central Time. Ooh, Debbie's birthday's this week. I see her comment on YouTube. Everybody wish Debbie a happy birthday while we are reliefing this piece. So I'm gonna set it down like this and then just glide my piece across it. Ooh, yes. So pretty. The relief block is such a smart tool, and I use it probably more than any other tool. Probably besides I use my chain nose pliers a lot, but this is probably my second most used tool. All right. Beautiful. So now I have more of that detail coming out from the polished points of the natural brass versus not. So super duper cute there. Looks really good. And then for this piece, so I only had 4 of these rectangle crystals, and that's why they were not included in the crystal pack this time around. But it is the same concept, using an F20 and then just wrapping both sides over top, meeting them almost in the center, and then using your bottom hole as your connector piece for your jump ring to go into to hold your ancient urn, and then you have your ear wire that's attached to that top hole of the F20. So this is a very special piece. It's very cute. Not something that you see very often. But I just adored these. Wondering how to heart the live? I know. Facebook's been making it difficult, you guys. Very difficult. But that is all we need to do for that piece. Will Uncle Doug be ready for a trivia here in a minute? Okay. Cool. So I'm gonna work on bringing Uncle Doug on here. Beautiful. Looks like he's shipping. And then while Uncle Doug's getting ready there, I'm gonna show you guys the Big Loot giveaway in the meantime. So you guys know the drill. But this thing is huge.
Okay, creepy media.
Look at all that
You can listen and see if you can figure it out. But you should go count while you're waiting.
So you love react to the live demo for a chance to win a Big Loot giveaway. You must have an order with vintageliveshop.com to claim it. And you will get this in your order. Whoa, what the heck is that piece, Uncle Doug? This is hold on. Hold on. What in the world? This is such a thick stamping. That is beautiful. That's insane. Okay, whoever gets this, you're in for a treat, because this stamping alone, this is crazy. All right, so I think, oh no, where did Uncle Doug go? I think Uncle Doug might have accidentally closed out his tab. There it is. There he is. Hold on, I gotta unmute you again. There we go. I was like, where'd you go?
You hear me okay, everything?
Yeah.
All right, because my video is all stalled out and everything. I don't know why.
Interesting. All right.
Probably It probably doesn't have anything to do with me dumping half of a bottle of cranberry water on top of my keyboard just a few minutes ago.
Oh no.
I really did it.
It does
I really
the
did.
scene. Hi,
So,
Diane. Go ahead.
so I rinsed the keyboard out under the sink.
Oh,
I
really?
rinsed it with water because it'll be really sticky otherwise.
Right.
So I rinsed it with water, and then I got our blower, the leaf blower, and I just kind of blew it all off. It seems like it's working. I did have some plug-in keyboards hanging around here so I wasn't too concerned.
Sure.
But for some reason, my switcher view is just all stalled out and everything.
Dang it.
As long as you can hear me, okay, that's fine. And see me.
Yeah. All right, so we're gonna
Are
do
we
the
ready
4
for some
cards.
trivia? 4 cards, okay. All right, here is the question. Get ready to put it in both of our spots over here. All right, the question.
Hold on, Debbie has a question. How do you enter the Big Loot giveaway on YouTube?
If your name is on there, you have to like the video, subscribe, and then at the end we also combine all the names out here who've done that into the wheel that you spin.
Yes.
So that's how that works, okay? So like the video, subscribe, and you'll be entered into the drawing. So here's the question. What is the only US state that can be typed in using only one row of a standard QWERTY keyboard? So I've read it, and now I'm going to
I know what it
paste
is already. I just
Really?
had to look at my keyboard.
There's a couple people on here who should know that already.
Someone lives there.
Peggy's telling me I should have stayed home today. I'm just seeing some of these things. That wouldn't have saved you from me, Peggy, because I would have joined from there. Okay, let's see. I still don't have any answers on YouTube. I'm still waiting over here on. It looks like Candy is the first one. Oh man, a close second, and with Janet, and a close third with Kat over on YouTube.
Yep.
So the answer is Alaska. Where's Monica? Did Monica just go take a break?
I think so, because I was like, somebody lives there. I know what it is. That's funny. Oregon doesn't work, Gene.
If you typed your answer and you had to go on to a different row to type any of the letters, your answer's wrong.
Yeah, Oregon has 2 rows. Alaska only has 1. Oh, she goes, well, that's what I get for walking away from my phone.
That was a layup. That was a gimme putt.
I know. I was like, oh my gosh, Monica's going to get that one because that's where she lives. That's so funny. Did you type in winner for, who was it, Candy, I think?
I'm doing it. Yes, it's Candy. And let me find a little doodle here for Candy.
Good job, Candy. That's so fun. I would have believed you though, Gene. I had to look at my keyboard and be like, Oregon. No, wait. I have to go down a row for G. That's so fun. That was a good question. I liked that one.
That's a good one, wasn't it?
Yeah.
All right, so here's Candy's little doodle.
Oh, let me make you a little bit bigger. There we go. Cute.
There.
All right.
We're still sort of on the winter theme. I'm waiting for spring so I can change up these drawings a little bit.
Do like snowflakes or something. Or snowboard or skier.
Yeah, those take a little bit longer though than some of these little things. So
that's true. We'll see you when you get back over here.
Hey.
Ooh, that was pretty good. I changed that quick. That's what I'm saying, Candy. I don't usually know answers either, but I was like, I know that one! Just had to look at my thing quick. Alright, so one last peek at the items we just demoed. Aren't those just so cute? And the head pin, eye pin, just using it to get into those like really small crevices and then using the paper towel to kind of like bring it all together. I love it. All right. We are going to move on to our next piece. I'm thinking we should do these because these earrings had quite a few likes and loves on the pre-sale post. So we're going to bring these babies out next. We'll give you a good look at those while I grab the pieces that I need for these. Which, this bird is stinking cool, you guys. Let me bring out a couple of these. And put them up normal way here. So we need those birds. And then there's a bale that we're revisiting again. I'm going to bring out a couple of those bales. Amazing. And then, okay, so the jump rings that I used in these earrings are JR55s. They are not the JR50s that are on the live shop. They are JR55s. But JR50s will work. And I wanted to show you quick. I don't know why our Wi-Fi must be like a little spotty because it is just not clear, which I want it to be clear.
Very clear.
No, the video's not very clear.
I know mine's not so swell today either.
Yeah. Okay, so the difference between a JR55 and a JR50 is the size, just slightly, and then the thickness. The JR50 is thicker than the JR55, but they will both work for this. So you could choose JR55 or JR50. Either or will work. But we'll leave the JR50 up there for now. And take this one out. That's a 55 as well. Okay. And then you're going to need some rivets. So I use the RV040 rivets. I'm going to bring not a broken one out. Okay. And then we are also going to be sourcing new rivets. So our rivet supplier closed several years ago and we are just now running out. So we need to find a new supplier for rivets because they don't offer them any longer. So keep your eyes out for us introducing new rivets, and I think we might do more tube rivets versus the solid rivets because I think the tube ones they're definitely easier for me to work with, and I'm sure they're probably easier for you guys to work with. But we're going to focus on trying to find some more of these tube rivets. Anywho, let's get into this bird pack. 10 pieces for $22, cart 101. Look at all the detail on that bird. 1. And then the little branch that it's carrying. How adorable is that? That's so clever. Such a great piece. And I was like, okay, how the heck am I going... So Jean, Aunt Jean has challenged me to use at least 6 new pieces during the live sales, and then 6 of whatever, ones that I've introed before, demoed with before, but the whole thing just kind of like makes you think of pieces in so many different more manners, because I'm like, okay, I would probably not buy this unless it was designed with already. So this is another reason why we do the lives, is to give you inspiration for the pieces that you might be like, I don't know what I would use that for. I don't know what I would put it in. Because there are a lot of pieces like that, but then once they're all assembled, you're like, whoa, that's crazy. But sometimes coming up with those ideas by yourself is hard. So we're going to get into how I went about creating these. So obviously, you're going to be starting like this because that's your top hole. So this is what somebody would normally be like, okay, I'm going to hang this on a pair of earrings, just normal, totally fine. Add some chain, cool, nice. But no, I wanted to switch it to where the branch was hanging down and it was kind of more of a downward flight versus going to the east. So that's why I pointed it down. And then I'm like, okay, how the heck am I going to get something on both sides here? I have to hole punch into this wing on this side and hole punch into the tail so it has something to hang from. So let's grab our hole punch. And when there's a dapped piece, which this piece is slightly dapped, it's not a huge one by any means, but any piece that's dapped, I like to punch from the back to the front because it keeps my dap. So I'm going to kind of position my pliers in the same manner that the other side is in, trying to keep it symmetrical. I'm going to punch that through. They were soft. The only problem I had was the tube collapsing when cut down with the flush cutters. Totally understandable, Lisa. Ooh, that would be cool. The Noah's Ark charm and the dove, that would be pretty crazy. Yes, no animals are gonna be harmed. Just brass pieces. Peggy, you're so funny. And me too, Carmen. I love birds. Did you guys know that Uncle Doug is a bird man? I remember going over to their house for like family get-togethers and things, and one of the items that Uncle Doug has there is a pair of binoculars that all of us kids would just love using. Because I think, if I'm remembering quickly, they're like a bigger sized pair of them too. Maybe Uncle Doug can share with us over our next trivia. Because that was fun. For this little branch down here, which, gosh, I'm really hating that this is not focusing correctly. So the little leaf part of this branch, I just took a little bit of our green paint, which is olive green or moss, I believe. Hopefully this focuses, because I'm really sorry if it doesn't. At least it's during a part that's not like super, super important, because it's still looking really blurry on my end. I'm just going to take just a tiny bit of green paint, put it on my bird, or not my bird, but my leaf there. And I'll just use my eye pen I used earlier to spread it out a little bit, because it is a smaller area that needs paint. And then I'll take my heat gun to it. And pull this up while I heat this up. Be careful when handling your pieces after heating them, while heating them, because they do get very hot. Gorgeous. A little bit of green on our leaf now. Super cute. And you need to, I did the bail attachment here. I thought it gave it a super cool look, and then did the jump ring after. So to rivet this bail, first you're going to need some chain nose pliers to pull this bail apart because it's kind of a little hard to do with your fingers. I'm just going to open up my bail just enough to be able to fit my bird in there. That looks good. And then I need to thread my rivet through my first hole. And then I need to thread it through the tail hole and then back through the top hole of the bail. So your bird tail ends up being squished between the two. I might have to pull this back a little bit here to get this on top. Okay, so we're through all 3 layers there. I'm going to take the bottom of my rivet and the top of my rivet and kind of squish them down to give me more clearance when riveting them. Alright, so that's just about, let me do a little bit more here. I want to make sure my rivet's pretty dang close to the back of that. Okay, alright, so here's where we are. Rivet head on the bottom, through the bail hole, through the bird tail, through the bail hole to your top. And then that's what you're going to hammer. This part, the top of the rivet, is what you're going to hammer to mushroom it over top of the bail to ensure that it stays good. And you can do this the other way too. So if you want like the nice side pointed out, you can do this the opposite way. You would just thread it from the top to the bottom instead of bottom to top. Which I think is how I did these ones. I think I threaded it top through to the bottom. Yeah. This one I'm just doing a little backwards, but that's okay. Grab your steel bench block and your rubber block once again. And then for this, now, this has a curve that goes pretty dang, yeah, I would say significantly lower than your bird here. So when I have pieces like that, I like to hang the part that comes down over the edge. Hopefully it doesn't focus on that part. I want it to focus down here. But you see how it loops down the bench block instead of being up, because we don't want to mess up our bail shape. So that's why we're sliding it to the edge, ensuring that our rivet head is still touching the block, but the top of our bail is off the block. And then I'm going to take my hammer. Oh, speaking of hammers, we will be introducing that small hammer very soon. I am hoping to get it on order next week so that it comes in. So hopefully within this month or the beginning of next month, I'll have, oh, I even have it right here, these tiny hammers available for you to purchase. Are you guys excited? I know Jean and Ainsley are, because they've been saying that they want some. Oh, I'm referring to one of the old trivias. Corian is just pulling a Doug? What do you mean? What am I doing? What am I doing? Alright, so I'm going to start with the rounded side because it's a little bit smaller, and you could probably even start with your smaller hammer if you do have it. But I know quite a few ladies don't have it, so that's why I'm doing it with this larger hammer. Let me see if I can angle this better for you guys, so you guys can see the rivet process a bit. We'll take down this bird pack for now. Let me know if you guys need to see that Carter again. Oop. Hopefully I don't move this too much. I'm gonna be off to the side here. It's a little hard to do from this angle. Trying to keep my pinky there to hold it down. My bird, at least. So you can see it's starting to mushroom. Let me try and hold it like this, coming around this way. Might make it a little darker, but bear with me. Bear with me. We're mushrooming over top. I'm gonna look at the other side. So I have just a little bit of room here on the bottom. So I'm gonna do what I did before. I'm going to take my pliers and kind of squish my two bail parts together using the bottom of that rivet to try and get it sucked up there a little bit more. Give me a little bit more rivet area to mushroom down. And then I'm going to do it from this angle too. So it clips to the front and then I can push down that way as well. Okay, that's pretty good. Get back to riveting here. There we go. And make sure I'm on my block before I slam my hammer down. Alright, now I'm going to do it from the back side. So you want to make sure that it's nice and tight. I think we could go a little bit more here. And I might need to bring out my small hammer, but I'm going to try it with the flat side first. Alright, let me see if I can get my little hammer out now. Which will give me a little bit more security. And I don't even think that I got these riveted totally flat. So on the backs of these, this is why I say put your rivet like head top on the top so the back side can be a little ugly. But if you do end up doing it this way that I have now, I would take that as a sign to just put a little chaton on top of the rivet hole there. Oop. So that way you don't see the rivet hole and it still has that finished look. Alright, that's pretty good with our bird there. Put this up here. For the chaton, I do have some on hand. Ooh, but I think I left my super tiny ones in the other. This one will probably work. Let me just undo this here. Sometimes my crystal holders get stuck and I'm worried that if I open it too fast that they're just gonna go everywhere. So bringing out a little flat back chaton. I'm using the liquid Loctite, which is not necessary. You can use the gel, but I've been liking the liquid stuff more and more as I've been using it. Way more than the gel, at least. Put some Loctite on there. And then our chaton. I'm gonna have to grab my tweezers here. My chinos probably won't cut it. Which my smaller chatons are in my office, but this one will work in the meantime. Hold. Oh no, I pressed too hard so it slid off. Dang it. Hold on. It's okay, because I'll probably take this chaton off later and then put a smaller one on there. But just so you guys have an idea of what it would look like with the chaton glued on. Beautiful. I was just getting ready to say, I always put chatons in those types of holes. Great minds think alike. I always do too, Lucine. So that's amazing. Great minds do think alike. And I think I just suggested to somebody to do that on DIY too. On DIY Vintage on one of their designs. I was like, you could add a chaton to the rivet heads there. To be super pretty. So that's with a chaton. I would use a smaller one, but my smaller ones are in my office, and I'm not getting up to grab those. And then you're going to take your jump ring. The ones that I used up here are JR55s, I think. Yeah. So I'm going to show you what a JR50 looks like on it, so you guys can see both if you wanted the thicker or the thinner. But I want to show you that they both work here. All right. So chaton glued, JR50 on the bail, and then your ear wire goes on top. But I'll probably just leave this as is. And then on those two bottom holes there, I grabbed two JR10s, and then I put on some what looks to be CH0002. I know we're out of stock of that right now, but I did have like some little clippings of it. So split that clipping, attach that to both holes, and then let it loop there at the bottom. So that's with the JR55, and this is with the JR50. Cute, huh? Love it. It was me about the chains, or about the chatons on the rivet heads. Yes, Stephanie. You did such a good job making that mermaid bracelet. Why do you like the liquid Loctite better? I have trouble with the gel drying too fast. So did I, Candy. The gel dried too fast. The liquid Loctite, it dries fast too, but I feel like I have just a tiny itty bitty little bit more work time with the liquid than I do the gel. And I mean, the difference is so slight you might not even notice it because they are both super quick drying. But the liquid, I like it because I can do this. So I open up the top. Now, the one reason why I hate the liquid is because the glue, or the cap always gets glued on. It always just stays like that. But with this, I open it up, and with a lot of my projects that I'm working on, if I need a smaller dot of glue, I'll take a head pin and I'll dip it in there, and then I'll just put, the liquid Loctite on whatever little piece I need done. And if it's like even bigger pieces, I'll take a silicone brush and I'll dip it into the liquid Loctite, and then I'll paint that onto whatever I need, so I can end up gluing things on. But I just like the liquid Loctite. I think it takes a minute for you to get used to it, because at first I was like, what the heck is this? I don't like using it. But now I use it all the time. I don't even use the gel anymore. Yeah. And then I feel, so the liquid Loctite is also thinner too. It's easier to get a nice slick look, and it dries more clear than the gel does, from personal experience. And if you're squishing the gel down, you're going to have gel build up over your edges. But if you're pushing the liquid down, your liquid's going to go out like this and not up. Hold on. I was like, it'll go like this and not up. And it's clear, so you're hardly even going to notice that maybe you overspilled a little bit or something. Of course. This is what my bottle looks like. Professional liquid. You see that? I'm using professional liquid. Yes, and also this does bond to skin immediately. I have had to pick Loctite off my fingers, you guys. You're putting chatons on right now. Love it. Love it, love it. Okay. So I think that's enough of that one. Is Uncle Doug ready for another trivia? Okay. Let's bring Uncle Doug on. We'll make it full screen there.
Wow, full screen.
I know. Isn't that cute? Which one do you like better? Do you like the JR50 or the JR55?
Are you asking me?
Yeah. Left or right?
I'm well, if I saw it all assembled together, I don't know. I say it's two applications. One's a little bit more dress up on the left, and then the other more casual on the right.
There you go.
So it depends on what you're wearing them for.
Sure.
The longer, more dangly seems like it wouldn't be everyday wear, but the other one would definitely be everyday wear.
I think they're adorable. You guys need to buy these birds.
They are really nice.
All right. Is it one bracelet for a trivia?
No, I think it was a 2 thing.
2-pack?
Mm-hmm.
All right.
It's bling attack. Look at that.
Ding ding.
Mother daughter, or you can
Best
stack
friends.
2 together. Best friends, stack 2 together, clip something onto it. I don't know.
Yeah, this thing's huge. Ooh, okay. I wonder, would it be big enough for a choker if you were to?
Yeah, I was thinking that initially. I didn't link them together to see though. I didn't think it would be big enough.
Oh, that looks kind of small. I don't think you can
very
do them
slender
both.
Neck.
That would be cool. All right. What's our trivia?
Our trivia is this. What is the name of John Travolta's character in the 1977 film Saturday Night Fever? So let's see how quickly this comes through.
I'm super excited to see it, Stephanie.
How are our names coming in? Oh, I'm gonna, let's see here. I'm gonna have to go with Lisa Mack.
Since she did first and last name?
Yes. We're looking for the full name, Tony Monero. Way to go, Lisa Mack.
Good job, Lisa. I know she loves these bracelets too.
All right, I got a doodle.
Okay.
Are we ready?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I chose this one because I had the smallest amount of space to write a name. And since Lisa's got a very short name, it kind of worked out. Okay. Can you see that all right? No, maybe too close.
Oh, she's gonna love that.
Calm and stay frozen. Here you go, Lisa.
Hold on. I'm doing her name here. So I can do her little applause.
I'll put her in here. Man.
I got it. Woohoo! Lisa! Good job. Ooh. She said those bracelets are loved by my men when paired with Kansas City Chiefs
Oh,
arrowheads.
I could see that one.
Heck yeah,
Wait,
girl.
do we have those on anywhere? Are these on any of the
They're
sites?
on, yes, they're on Live Shop.
Okay. Oh, these are also on Live Shop?
Yes, yep.
Okay. See, there you go, Lisa. No shortage. No shortage of Kansas City Chief fans either.
Yep.
Although it's the first time in like 10 centuries that they weren't in the playoffs.
All right, we'll see you when you get over here. Amazing. See, I remember things. I know Lisa loves these bracelets. Super fun. Good.
Ready.
If you guys need those bales, by the way, I have them. Sorry, I forgot to put up their Carter app when I was referring to them, but they are brass based and they're gold plated bales. So let me grab these out quick. 18 pieces for $18, cart 102 for these earrings. I said that plural, so I need to bring it out. Bring them both out. So the bale pack, 18 pieces for $18, cart 102. They are brass based and plated gold. And then I'll bring up that bird pack one more time for you ladies. That'll be cart 101, 10 pieces for $22 for the natural brass bird. And just let me know if you guys need cart numbers throughout, because I don't mind popping them up for you if you need them. All right. So we got through these earrings and these earrings, which both stunners, but I really really want to get into these filigree suns because they're just stunning. Absolutely beautiful. So we'll start off with the earrings first, since those are easy, and then we will get into the necklace right after these earrings. So I'll show you guys what the necklace looks like if you haven't seen the inspiration for this live yet. Let me move this out of the way. So the necklace and the earrings. But we're going to start with the earrings first, since they're a bit easier, and then we'll get into our necklace. But these filigree, I called them filigree sunflowers as their description. But they're steel based with a copper coating, which makes them very light. They are extremely light, perfect for earrings. I need to get out one of my packs here of them. I did add a little bit of paint to these too, so I'll show you what the normal piece looks like, or the raw piece per se. I can get them out of their stinking tiny bag. So this is that filigree pack. 3 pieces for $18, cart 103. These retail to be around $12.50 a piece. So I would definitely grab one for sure. At least 1 pack, if not 2, because you're probably going to want to make both the necklace and the earrings. You're going to need 2 pieces for the necklace, and you're going to need 2 pieces for the earrings, and only 3 pieces come in a pack. So you're probably going to want to grab 2 packs, because I know sometimes I don't think of things in that manner, but you know, if I was on a live and somebody told me that I'm going to need 4 pieces but didn't tell me that there was only 3 pieces in a pack, I'd be kind of mad. So, just let you guys know right now, you're going to want 2 packs if you're going to want the earrings and the necklace version. Cart 103 for the steel-based, copper-coated sunflower filigrees. Oh, Lisa said, I shopped again because I'm a winner. That leather accent is delicious. I am very excited to go over that with you guys. Super excited. So to start, we're going to add a little bit of paint to this. And when I mean a little bit, I mean little bit. Just a little bit. You're going to take some sienna brown. And you're going to want to do this with a paper towel too. I just find that it's just the easiest way for me to achieve the effects that I'm getting. And a lot of that is just by using a paper towel, which we love that. We love that. So let's get our Filigree Sun out here. A little bit of our sienna brown, which is also earth, I think. My little brother, he knows every single paint number. It drives me nuts, but it probably drives him nuts when I know every single like metal number that we've introduced, because I'll be like, hey Kieran, what's the number for Moonstone? 050 CSUS or CSUP 050. And I'm like, geez, kid, what the heck? He fills so many paints. So with the paper towel, we're going to come through, soak up our sienna brown, and I am only adding sienna brown to the outside pieces. I'm not touching the center at all. I'm just adding it to these outside pieces, which I'm going to need more sienna brown. And it also helps if you are running your heat gun at the same time, because it helps it stick and helps it build as you're going through each and layering. So I'm going to take my heat gun, I'm going to put it on, I'm going to hold it above my sun, and as I'm going around, it's going to dry and darken those outside pieces. Pick up a little bit more of that, and as I'm going around, it's darkening more and more each time, because each of those have a little bit of time to dry before I get to the next one. Yeah. I mean, the difference is so subtle, but it's not at the same time. I love it. Just a little bit. Just a tiny bit here, just a tiny bit there. Makes all the difference. So there we go. Just a little bit of brown makes a huge difference between the raw piece and the finished piece. But giving you the side-by-side comparison like this, because right here, it's a little hard to tell that you even did anything. But once you put it side to side, then you're like, okay, I get it, I see it, I know what you mean. So you're going to put that down. You're going to take some glue. I'm doing my Loctite liquid glue again. I'm going to show you what I mean by dipping. So this one's a little bit of a larger surface, and I don't have my silicone brushes in here, so I'm just going to do a bristle brush. But I do want to let you guys know, if I had my silicone brushes in here, I would be using a silicone brush and not a bristle brush. Do not use a bristle brush for this, unless you plan on throwing it away. Which this one, mine's starting to crack and this one's super old, so I don't mind. If I need to get rid of this one, I'll just get rid of this one, or I'll just use it for Loctite in the future. So I'm going to dip some of that Loctite on, and I'm going to go around this middle section here. I'm just going to paint it. This helps me be more precise instead of just taking the nozzle to the piece, is by being able to like kind of paint it on. So I'm going to drag my Loctite around. Beautiful. I'm going to stick that in the water right away to hopefully avoid that getting super gluey. And then I'm going to take my chaton with my tweezers wherever I put those stinking things. Do you guys do that? You're like, I just had that and now I can't find it. That's me every day. Alright, I'm going to place that in the center and hold that down so it glues. Oh, might have been a little off center. Alright, now I'm going to push it down. Ooh, Lisa. I'll pop up your comment too there. Newsflash! My December sales were triple of the last few years. The filigree wrapped Rivoli sold like crazy. Congratulations, Lisa. That's always such a great feeling. Alright, so now we have our blue chiton, flatback chiton set in the middle there. I'm going to take some resin. This is how I ensure that my chitons stick. Which I forgot to plug in my UV light, but I do have it here, so that's good. Alright, let's plug this puppy in. I'll have to unplug my heat gun, though. That's okay. I'll just plug that in when I need it. Alright. Take a little bit of your resin. Apply that to the back of your piece here, over top of the chiton back. Then I'm going to take an eye pin or head pin, whatever I have access to at the moment. I'm going to spread that around so it's more flat. And resin dries clear, so don't worry about being absolutely perfect on the back of this, because it is the back, but it just helps hold the chiton in. Especially if there's holes. If you have a space that doesn't have a hole, you don't need to do the resin. But if it does have a hole, that's less surface space that your chiton has to hold on to when you only glue it, so that's why I apply the resin. And then I just stick it into my UV light and let that cure on the back. While that's curing, we'll get into these blanks. These are also super fun. Alright, let's pull these out. This is DP 126. It is an east-west blank, but there's only one hole. So that made this one super good for me, at least. And I do like the variation in color when it comes to blanks, because maybe I'll do like the darker one in the center, the lighter ones on the edge, like that. Bring out your bench block, your steel bench block, and your rubber block. And you're going to hammer the crap out of these. There we go. Where's my... I'm like looking everywhere for this thing. Alright, I got my hammer. Hammer the crap out of each of these blanks. Just don't hammer the crap out of your finger, because you need those to make jewelry. Some little hammer marks. You can look at it with the light to see if you need to adjust where hammer marks are, but that one looks pretty good. Happy with that. Put that one up. Next, some quick hammer marks. When I'm hammering, I like to make sure that nearly the whole piece is hammered, because I really like that texture. I thought it was very fitting with these earrings. That one looks good. Next one. Beautiful. A couple more on that side. Love it. Alright, flip it over. Make sure it's flat. Sometimes doing the hammered texture makes your pieces fold in a little bit. I want to make sure they're flat for when we take them to the relief block. That's our next step. Put those down here. Change out my bench block. Alright. For the relief block, I'm going to take my piece, go up and down, relatively quick. That's looking good. And I'll get the middle here in the moment. Looking good. Just want to make sure that I have my edges first. Okay. And then to get into, because it's not perfectly flat, so to get into that slightly dapped area there, I come up to the side of my relief block. This can be frustrating when it doesn't do the whole thing when you're going back and forth really fast to initially start, but that's why I come to the edges afterward, and then you get your detail. So edges first, and then you can go in for that center off the edge. Looks good. Next, because this is what it looks like before, right? So that's just going back and forth so I can get my edges. And then when you come to the edge of your relief block, to the center of your blank, that's when you're going to get your texture. All right. So we got some texture now, and because this was clear resin, this is done. Dries super fast or cures super fast. Looks good. All right. Grab some jump rings from your tiny jump ring sampler pack. I have them over here. You need 6 of those, but 3 for 1 earring. Chain nose pliers. Let me bring up those blanks. I almost forgot. So the blank pack is 24 pieces for $20. Cart 104. Those are the blanks that we just hammered, those east and west blanks. Love them because they add just enough dimension to the pieces. I'm going to hang that in a bottom section. Beautiful. We got to go to our next. Open up. String that on. And then we got to do one more. Uno más. All right. Thread that on. Gorgeous. Gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. Beautiful. And then you would string your ear wire to the top here. Very pretty. So essentially, this one I'm using 2 of those filigrees, but this can also be a centerpiece for a necklace. So if you wanted to do like an earring necklace pair like this, you only need 1 pack. But if you got 2 packs, you're getting 6 pieces. So then you can do this necklace, these earrings, and another necklace if you want. So there's a bunch of different ways. But this could be a set as is. You have your earrings and then your necklace piece. And then maybe for the necklace, I would add like probably a larger jump ring. Doesn't necessarily have to be this one, but kind of in the middle. I'd probably do an even bigger one. Maybe like that JR116 where it's just huge for that to hang down from. But I don't have those on me at the moment. So a few different ways you can do that, but those are the earrings. Aren't those so cute? They're so easy. How many more trivias do I have? If I do one after this, then I have the necklace, I have to do one after the necklace. I have my other necklace, and then, okay, we're good. Is Uncle Doug ready for another trivia? Is Uncle Doug ready for another trivia? Okay, I'm gonna bring Uncle Doug on here. All right, there we go.
I don't know if I'm ready.
Aren't those
We shall
filigree
see.
studs incredible?
They're pretty cool. They really are.
I really like them a lot.
That's what it caught my attention when I was looking at the post to advertise this event. I was like, man, that's cool. Pretty cool.
I love them. All right. For our next trivia, I think we're going to do the panels.
Okay. This one's going to go out to our friends north of the border. Which Canadian hockey player is considered to be the best or the greatest player of all time?
Where's Amanda Hogan when you need her?
I know. Well, she's over on YouTube today. You never know.
Oh, is
She
she?
might get this.
She might get it then.
You never know. Let's see how fast people can respond. Usually takes a little while in our delay, right?
Yeah.
Who got it? Kathy Coppinger got it.
What?
Oh.
Kathy.
Yeah, Kathy.
She's so
Come on.
good at trivia.
Marietta comes in second. You got to give everybody a chance. I think we need to have a timer for Kathy.
Oh, no.
She's like a walking encyclopedia, I bet.
She probably is.
Like if Cliff Claiborne had a sister, it's probably Kathy. Do you know that reference? Cheers. There was a guy Cliffy in the bar who knew everybody. I mean, who knew everything. He'd have an answer for everything, just random facts and information. So we're gonna have to start calling Kathy Cliffy.
Cliffy.
Cliffy instead of Kathy.
She goes, hey, I didn't win the first two.
Oh, okay. Maybe she's from Canada originally, eh?
Good job, Kathy.
All right, let's see here. I gotta put her up as a winner and mark her as a winner over here in the file.
She's getting some beautiful panels to work with. This one's probably one of my all-time favorites. I just love that. You imagine putting iridescent on the wood wings. Woohoo! So pretty.
I guess we probably should apply one of my doodles, huh?
Oh, yes. We need one of those. Well, this one looks like this one might be missing a piece, but oh well. Oh well. That's why they're free.
Well, if it is, there's a box of them right next to you, right near you over there.
Oh. That's okay.
Okay, here's Kathy's.
Kathy's from North Dakota.
Well, she's about as close as you get then. And I gave her a toque and a scarf. So I will come over if you will gladly wipe me off the screen.
Pam, I see you talking over on YouTube. I didn't reach out to you last week, but you did win the Big Loot giveaway. So if you place an order on vintageliveshop.com, I will ship you that giveaway. I did hold it because I recognized your name and I know you might want that. So I didn't reach out to you yet, but since I see you on YouTube right now, Pam, you did win that. So if you want to purchase something on vintageliveshop.com, I will ship that to you. I'll give you what? I'll give you till next Monday. Yes. I'll give you until next Monday before I have to re-put that one in. You're going to be wearing those for the next 2 weeks? Heck yeah, girlfriend! Alright, so we just finished up with these earrings. We did our bird earrings. And we did our ancient urn earrings. So we just have 2 necklaces left. This is what we've covered so far. And we're going to get into our double filigree necklace. Absolutely, Pam. I wanted to give you a heads up before I was like, nope, you don't get it. All right. I'm thoughtful like that, you could say. So you're going to need the same filigree that we were just working with. I'm going to pop that back up on the screen. Cart 103, 3 pieces for $18. It's a stunner, steel-based, copper-coated. Beautiful, 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 beautiful. All right. I wanted to do something a little bit different because in the past, I have doubled up pieces like this and have made them just look absolutely insane. So I thought that that would work super well with this piece. Isn't that incredible, just the way that looks? That's exactly how I laid it out before I even made the decision. So you're going to want 2 of these filigree to create this necklace. And then you're also going to want these washers that I've used these before, so if you have missed the demos of using this piece, they are the finished inspiration photos that I used for these are in their product listing on vintageliveshop.com. So if you want to click in there and see the other projects we have done with these, you're more than welcome, but I did want to let you know that those are there. You're only going to need 1 of these, but I do want to bring it out for reference later, so that's why I popped out 2. That is the solid brass C-disc pack, 20 pieces for $24. Cart 105. This is something that we have demoed in the past. You'll see those inspo pictures in the listing, but it's very, very, very pretty. And I call it a washer because I'm treating it as if it's a washer on this necklace. And it is slightly dapped. Just slightly. Alright. Let's see. I also used an eyelet for this one, it looks like. So I'm going to bring out one of these eyelets here. Alright. We have our eyelet. Our washer. I'll bring this one off to the side for now. So let's start with this, and then we'll get into the crystal and the leather. He's been practicing his doodles after hours. You're so fun. I love it. All right. So I'm going to start with putting my eyelet through my washer. This is what it looks like. And then I'm going to put on my sunflowers. Like this. But I'm going to do this the other way, and I'll tell you why. Now that I'm thinking about it. So this part is slightly dapped. Okay, so I don't want to be hammering down because I'm going to miss some of that length because of the dap. So instead, I'm going to hammer it this way. I'm going to put my eyelet down first, then my sunflower filigree, then my next one, and then my washer. So that way I can get as close and I'm not losing any space because of the dap on that washer. And I glued a chiton on it anyway in the center, so you won't have to worry about if it looks perfect or not from the front. That looks pretty good to me. This eyelet, I think I have them on the shop here. I think it's EY005. Yes, EY005. It is on the live shop. I'm going to copy this link. If Vintage wants to copy the link that I have just put in the comments so that you can have direct link and then they post it. Otherwise, if you just copy my jewelry by Corian comment and then paste it into your browser, you will see that listing there. But they are, yes, EY005s if you need this specific eyelet for this piece. All right, now I need my hammer. Eyelets are different than rivets because eyelets are meant to have a hole going through and then the two open sides. Rivets are going to be closed on both sides, so you can't string a jump ring through, but an eyelet you can string a jump ring through. All right, so I'm going to start to hammer this down. I'm holding both of my filigree down with my fingers. I'm kind of just letting my sea urchin disc there, that washer in the middle, just kind of free float, because it is secure there by the center of the eyelet. Looking pretty good. All right, so this is probably all the more we could go if we did our rivet the other direction. But because we have it on this side, I can go even lower. And I have this other hammer. This one we don't have listed, but it has a even smaller round part. So I'm going to use that to kind of finish this out in the middle. And then I can even go to my smaller hammer after the fact. But that's just if you want to keep the shape of your... Dang it, why is that shaking so much? The shape of your sea urchin. Thank you, Vintage. Let me bring out my tiny hammer now. Make sure we get in the center there, nice and tight. Oh yeah, she's not going anywhere. Looks fab. Pull that down. We'll bring that bench block back out here in a minute. Need to glue our chaton. So I'm going to open up my liquid Loctite again. I'm going to take the end of my head pin, kind of dip it in there. Bring some out. Doot. Beautiful. Alright. Then I need my other crystal, which these crystals that you're seeing, these little chatons that I'm putting on, the blue chaton and this copper crystal over here, do come in the crystal pack. I think I only have like 5 of those left. That was the last time I checked, like this morning. So I'm sure the crystal pack's probably getting close to selling out. So if you do want that, I will show you what that looks like here in a moment. Glue my chaton there in the center. Beautiful. Push that down. A little glue coming out the back because it is an eyelet. So this is another one of those where you can do the resin and then it'll keep it extra secure. So I'm just going to put a dot of resin on here while we're working on our other piece. There's my resin. Just a dot. So it goes down the eyelet and over top of the eyelet. Use the end of this eye pin, make sure that it's down there. Beautiful. Don't want a super large bump of resin on the back, so I'm just going to smooth this out around my eyelet. Okay, and then I'm going to put that into the UV light while we work on our big crystal, but I'm going to show you guys what that crystal pack looks like. So the crystal pack, you're going to get 3 foot of white. Let me just make sure. I think it's 3 foot. 3 foot of white leather, 3 foot of teal leather, which you see here. The white leather is what I used for this necklace, but I sold a necklace when I was down in Virginia. It had teal leather, but it was painted with the copper, the metallic copper, and this lady was just absolutely loved with it. So what I'm going to do, instead of painting the white leather copper, I'm going to paint the teal leather copper so I can show you what the teal looks like painted copper, because you already see what the white looks like painted copper. Does that make sense? So anyway, 3 foot of teal, 3 foot of white. You're going to get one of these Swarovski Frosted Corner rock pendant crystals. Insane. This thing, crazy. Probably one of my favorite crystals, and I just love the frosted look on the side there. Very beautiful. You're going to get 2 of the blue chatons that I used in the Filigree sun earrings. And then you'll get 10 of these little multicolored chatons that I have in this necklace that we're working on now. So cart 106 for the crystal leather pack. I'm not going to grab all these, but you're going to get 10 of the small chatons, 2 of these blue chatons, 1 of the Swarovski rock pendants, and then 3 foot of teal leather and 3 foot of white leather. I'm not sure how many more I can do after the last 5 sell out, just because I'm limited to my white leather, which I also use the white leather in the last necklace that we'll be demoing today with the new crimps. So, which you can use I'm going to demo this with the teal leather as well, so you guys can see what it looks like with both. Alright, so that's enough of the crystal pack there. We're going to need our bails again for our rock pendant here. Take these out. Which the bails are brass based. They are plated in gold. And then I riveted this a little more advanced. I would say a more advanced technique. So if you don't get it on your first try, just try it a few more times. It took me a couple times, but I think I should be able to get it this time. And then that has cured. So that looks good. Alright, so this is the rivet that I used for the rock pendant. Oops. And I do not have this on the live shop. It is on our retail site. But I want to make sure that I give you the right item number for it. These are 1/2 inch rivets. RV, that's not the right one. It might be R, oh no, RV020. Yeah, that's right. RV020. And then maybe Vintage can copy my comment there. Cart 106. What was that one, dear? Oh, there's only 1 crystal leather pack left? No way. Says there's 5 on my end. So, if you want to make sure that you have a product committed, you need to check out right away. If you don't check out right away, somebody else can, quote unquote, take that out of your cart if they check out first. So if you for sure want to grab something, make sure you check out. Remember, we don't charge shipping on any order every time, USA shipping, so it has to be domestic, but we don't charge shipping on vintageliveshop.com, so you can order as many times as you need. We will combine your orders and ship them together. But just know it's not committed until you have checked out and paid. Because it still says that I have 5 available on the live shop. So until you check out, there's still going to be, 5 people that can take that from underneath you. or 2 if they buy, you know, multiple packs. Anywho, you're going to want these rivets, these long ones, because these are the only ones that can fit this rock pendant, which I thought was a super clever way of making this work. Because I think I've seen Ains and Jean, they have wire wrap them, which is super cool, but I think this is the first time I'm seeing somebody put a bail on one, which is not the easiest thing to do, so I don't blame anybody for not doing it. But I want to make sure that my nice side stays out this time because I didn't do that on, well, I guess you can flip it either way, but I wanted my nice side to be up this way. So I'm going to string, you got to string your rivet through the top hole, then through your crystal, then through the bottom hole. So I think I need to make this actually a bit larger, this opening here, because it is a thick, it's a thick crystal, and then I'm going to flatten out these loops because they are angled. Let's see where we're at. That's pretty good. Alright. I don't want to break my crystal, but I do want it to be very tight. Let me bring this down a bit. Alright. I'm going to put my bail on. I might have to open it up just a little bit more. String my rivet through. Oh, I need this pushed down just a little bit. There we go. Alright. So this is what we're looking like. Rivet. This is the part that I want facing forward, so I can potentially glue a chaton there if I want to, which I think would be super cute. I think I'm going to try that after. But go through your bail hole, then your crystal, then your bail hole through the back. Then you're going to take your bench blocks. Oh, you're talking about hockey crushes? Okay, I had seen, it's so funny. I don't watch hockey, I don't. But I had seen this TikTok video where it had said something about how hockey rinks are like fish bowls for girls. Because you're watching all these dudes just in this circle area, and then they're like fighting and stuff and getting hit up against the walls and whatnot. I can't remember the reference that they made, but it was so funny. It's like it's a fish bowl for men, for women to go to and just like admire. It's so funny. Okay. You need to trim this rivet down just a little bit. Don't do a whole lot. You can trim if you find out that you need like a little bit more trimmed off, but I wouldn't over trim it because it is kind of like a larger surface where you're needing to get your rivet to mushroom over. And sorry, I'm cutting this slow, but I just don't want this to fling somewhere. There we go. It's like I don't want it to fling somewhere. Now, I also used one of these. I thought this was clever as well. I used a sunshine cloth as well to help protect my crystal while riveting. So it's still over my bench block. I'll make this look a little more appealing to look at and not like all my gross stuff. There we go. So sunshine cloth, or just some sort of like felty cloth to help protect your crystal from little scrapes and stuff like that. And then you're going to start riveting down. Just be very careful. I'd probably bring it closer to that edge, how we did the first bird earrings, because your bail does make that dip like it did in the bird earrings. So I'm going to hang it pretty dang close to the edge here. And then I'm going to start to mushroom this down. I'm starting slow and light until I start my mushroom, and then I'll go a little faster, a little heavier. I might need to trim this just a little bit more. Let me do that. I don't think I need that much surface here. I don't want to go too much though, so we'll go here. We'll see if that gives us good room. All right, back to the edge. Beautiful. And this one, I'm telling you, it takes a minute. Be patient. Don't expect to rush through this, okay? Because you are dealing with a crystal and a hammer and a bail and a rivet. Maybe if I push this up a little bit more, it won't go out of focus for you guys. We're mushrooming. We're not necessarily pushing out the back, which is good. That's not a bad thing. That's a good thing. Oop. Okay. I'm going to take my pliers on either side and I'm going to squish my rivet back through a little bit more because it is coming out the back just a tiny bit. I'm going to squeeze my bail in just a tiny bit too to help make that work. And then I think I'm going to do a little squishing back here too. This will help angle my rivet head in toward the hole a bit. Give it a more finished look. All right, continuing on with our riveting. It's like I'm bending it down a little bit. I'm gonna go this way. Oops. I want to stay on screen as much as I can, but there's some of this that I have to like really look at. Squeeze that back down. Like I said, it's a process. Trust the process. Just don't get overly frustrated because it does take a minute. You can also, if you want, it might make it a little bit easier, but if you pad, let's see here. I'm trying to think of ways to make this easier for you guys. If you pad underneath a little bit more, and I'm just focusing on hitting the metal. I'm not wanting to hit that crystal at all. Oh, almost there. Sorry, I know I'm off screen a little bit, but I do have to have it in certain angles for this to work. That's relatively okay. I did bend it just a tiny bit. It's not my favorite one that I've done, but this is probably the least amount of time that I've spent on doing this before. Squeezing that rivet down. Just be very careful when you're using pliers with your crystals. I've done it a lot. I know when to let off. Like if I just need this one little, there we go. Okay. Okie dokie. Let me get something else underneath here quick. I'm just using my tweezers as a little bit more leverage for the other side of that rivet. Give me something solid to go back on. Oh, what did I just drop? My beetle. Hopefully I don't step on that. I'll just pick it up now before that ends up happening. Yes, you can cushion the crystal with the leather, but you will dent your leather. You might even cut through it. So if you find like a leather piece that you like have cut that you don't feel like using, or just cut like a little bit off your long section, but I wouldn't set like a long section of leather down and then do it right in the middle. These cloths actually work really good for that. And leather, it's also squishy too. You just got to be a little bit careful with that. Because I even had to put my tweezers underneath to give me a little bit more leverage underneath that one spot. Looks good to me. All right. Then I need jump rings. Dang it, my stinking necklace is getting tangled over here. There we go. Take this down. Let's put a little... Oh, I don't have one of my tiny ones, but if I were going to put a chaton on here, it would look like that, essentially, which I think is super cute. So glue a chaton on there. And I'll probably do that on my finished one too. I'll probably glue that chaton there. So it looks like that. Yeah, that's cute. All right. So that's your crystal. I would keep going if I wasn't limited on time, but at least that gives you the demo on how to do that. So we've done our flower and our crystal bale. Now at the bottom of this, I used a JR40 and 3 JR20s or 30s. Those might be 30s. So the JR40 slid into the top of the bale, and then the 3 JR20s get into one of these smaller loops down here, all 3 of them that connect to the JR40, which connects to your crystal. And then for the leather hack, we're going to need some crimps, which these are the crimps that I had used. They are the CE 60s, I think. Yes. The CE 60s. You're gonna need 2 of those. I'll just bring out one for now. These are the thicker, or the wider of the 2. There's a thinner version. Yes, scrap leather. There's a thinner version, and then there's a wider version. I think Wendy was on there for a second, but I think maybe Jean and Wendy are both vintage right now. So for the crimp sampler, you're going to get 40 pieces of gold plated and 40 pieces of silver plated crimps for $22. So you're going to get 80 pieces total. Half are going to be gold plated, half are going to be silver plated, and they are brass based, cart 107 for $22, which they're great. It's a perfect size for these whatchamacallit leather leather pieces. And I did have some extra two little pieces of white, which maybe I will do the white for this sample, and then I'll show you what the teal leather copper one looks like on the other one. Yeah, that's probably what I'll do. That way I can show you exactly how I did this one. Grab your dragon eye for your metallic copper. This is with white leather. You can do this with any color leather though. You can even use saddle tan leather and you won't even have to paint it because it's already that coppery feel. Alright, so we're just going to do one of these strips for now. I'm going to fold it in half. I suggest cutting both your pieces right away. Okay. Do I have a ruler? I wanted to see approximately how long I cut these so you guys have some reference. Maybe not. Say about 2.5 inches maybe of leather. Or no, 3. Probably 3 inches of leather. I don't know. I'm really bad about looking at something and being like, oh, that's how many. Alright. Fold that puppy in half. You're going to use your crimp on your ends side. With your ends. You can paint this before or after. I ended up painting the leather afterwards, but I might as well paint it right now before we even... See, Corian's thinking ahead. See, you like that? I glued my head pin up on accident. I set it down and it was just glued like that. Itsy. Alright, dragon eye, which is also known as metallic copper. Coat that baby! Coat it, coat it, coat it. Put quite a bit of paint on your leather because your leather soaks that in so quick, so fast. That's why I like leather too, though, because you can change its color. Give it a little bit of texture. Beautiful. Gonna do the sides. It's like dyeing leather. Which is probably also gonna dye my fingers because I'm not wearing gloves when I'm doing this. Yeah, it's okay. I just like doing it with a paper towel because that's something I can just throw away. I don't have to rinse. Oh, we miss you too, Sherry. We all do. I'm just gliding my paper towel along my leather, making sure it gets nice and saturated with paint. Do this little end over here. That looks good. Okay, and then I took a little bit of sienna brown. Take up that. This necklace is part of the giveaway for spending over $100. I would like to have it. Okay, Connie. You're cute. I'll remember that. The necklace won't be, but the parts that we're putting together will be. Not really any finished designs will ever kind of make it into there, like the half finished, so on and so forth, half demoed. I'm just adding some of that sienna brown in just tiny amounts, but kind of speckled around with the paper towel there. It just gives it that old look. I don't even know how to explain it. Like that antique look, I love it. Just tiny bits though. I don't want to overly saturate it because I still want it to be coppery, but beautiful. Just want a little less metallic, a little more muted with that nice earthy tone. Probably just finish off the back side with whatever's left on your paper towel. Beautiful. Okay. Paint version's done for white leather. So we went from this to this just by using the paints. Cute. All right. We'll hold that white leather off. For the meantime, you fold this in half. And then for our crimp here, you need to put both of these leather pieces in here. Now, this can be a little difficult, but it does work. So I'll put one end in, like this. Take your chain nose, and then squish it down into the crimp. And make it nice and thin there. To be one with the crimp. Kind of my goal. Makes the crimping portion of this so much easier. And then I'm going to put in my second end and do that same thing. I'm going to push the leather down, really cinch it in there. Utah truffles. Funny. Alright, that's looking good. I'm going to do that to the very side of it. And the other side. I'm going to bring this in center a little bit more. And then we're going to fold in one side. And then squeeze really hard to get that crimped. Flip it. So we're here. And then we're going to fold over this other side. I'm going to pinch down some of this leather again though. On the side that we are crimping. Oop. And then fold over your other side. Squeeze really hard. You don't want your leather coming out of there. Gorgeous. Okay. At the top here, I threaded in a silver JR40. You're going to want to do this before you do your little wire thing. So, let me grab maybe I don't have silver JR40s in here. I have a rose gold one though. I can switch it out. I'll switch it out if I want to, but rose gold would be pretty with the copper, so we'll do that. Alright. Open up a jump wing. Slide that onto my leather, which it's the perfect fit for the JR40. Okay. Beautiful. I have like paint all over my fingers. Then I have natural brass colored 16 gauge wire. I'll use my leftover from last week. Any 16 gauge wire will work for this, but I used it because it's thicker. This is what we're going to use to wrap this little tight portion there. And then if you want, you can switch out that jump ring. So that's what I'm going to do later. I'll probably switch out that jump ring for one that's not rose gold, but that ensures that I have enough room to slide one out and slide one back in if I need to. Hence why I'm doing this portion after I put the jump ring on, because I need to make sure that I save space for that. For this part, you're going to take round nose pliers. You're going to create a little hook. Like this. Just like a little hook with your 16 gauge wire. My freaking nails look disgusting right now. I'm so sorry. This is the paint, I swear. Alright. I just hooked that, right? We have a hook we made, so I just hooked that to my leather. It's not cinched though, so it's not quite ready. So I wouldn't like pull on it too much because then you're gonna pull it right off. That's looking good. Alright. I want to hold this down. Oh, see what I mean? Okay, hold on. Let me get my hands back on this. This is the front side of my crimp too, by the way. So when you're hooking, you want your back end to be your split end. Hence why we're hooking this way. Or I meant the other way. This way. So your open ends will be on the back side, and then your smooth finished portion will be on the front side. I'm going to hold that. I'm going to gauge approximately where I'm going to need to cut it. I'm going to leave a little bit of length because I can cut more, but I don't need this huge tail. So I'm just going to cut that off. Your tail might help you, so it might help you balance the product as you're working on it. So just make your own decision on that part. You don't have to do it like mine. I'm going to make a little kink here because that's where we're going to start going up. Looking good. And then this is going to end up folding back over. It does like to move though. It can get a little frustrating. But just keep an open mind when you're working with jewelry, because some things just don't work the first time around, and it's typical. It happens. I think I'm going to need a bit more of that cut off, so I'm going to do that now. So I can always cut off more, but as I get closer to that center point, I want to make sure that I don't have too much overhang. That's looking good. Let's see if we can get this puppy folded down even more. I might go off to the side a little bit here. We'll see. Alright, so we're meeting now between the two. I'm going to cut off my excess. Being very careful where I cut, because I don't want to cut into my leather and I don't want to cut the other side of my wire. So just make sure you know where you're cutting. If you're cutting, probably just kind of break this one off. There we go. I'm going to cinch that in a little bit more and get it twisted to the back a bit more too. It's not like super bad where it's at, but I want it a little bit closer to the back there. And push that in. I might need to cinch it a little bit more. You really have to kind of like balance this in between your pliers and your fingers. No sharp point. That seems good. I'll cinch this a little bit more. Looking pretty good there. All right. So there is our little ring combo. And then you will take, where did I put that? There we go. So you'll do that twice. I have two JR20s going from one crimp hole into the top of the filigree here, and then same on the other side, two JR20s in that crimp hole connecting to the top of another one of those. Go up to here. You have your two JR40s, and then I had some chain that comes up to the clasp. And then on the bottom there, as a reminder, you have the three what I believe are JR30s, but they might be JR20s, and then to your JR40 onto your bail with your crystal. So like this, and then this. Be more like that. There we go. And twist that a little bit more. Beautiful. Yeah, that works. Okay. I get so frustrated when I think I'm keeping track of back, front, and then I didn't realize I got myself confused. Same. Same. I did not reminders today. I usually get them, but not today. Did you accidentally unsubscribe from the messages? I should probably put Doug's comment up here. So, maybe we'll get into a trivia after this, because that was the last thing for that necklace anyway. So let's bring Doug on here. Did you send out a text?
I did.
Okay.
I was notified. I'm on the list just so that I know that they go out, and so
Okay.
it went out today.
Okay. So if you didn't get it, just re-sign up 855-948-2148.
Who's asking, by the way?
Stephanie.
Stephanie Fredine.
Yeah, she said that she did not get a reminder today. She usually gets them, but not today.
I'm just gonna look on the profile to see if it shows.
No problem. You ready for a trivia?
So it shows she's subscribed, so it shouldn't be a problem. I am, I think.
Okay. We're ready for one. We just finished up this necklace. Isn't that crazy?
Right. That is crazy. A lot of work in a little time.
Yes. Yep, and we have one more necklace after this, so we're going to do this trivia. This is our last trivia of today, and then we will do our big loot giveaway. Now, this trivia is something new, because Uncle Doug wanted to change things up a little bit, give you guys something new to look forward to while doing trivia, but we have these ice resin mixing cups and stir sticks. So it's a little set, comes with these little mixing cups and stir sticks. And then non-stick studio sheets. There's two 9x9 sheets in here. Heat resistant, reusable, multi-purpose. They're kind of like our silicone mats, but different.
Yeah, and you can cut those up as well too into smaller patches if you don't want to use the full sheet.
So this is our giveaway for this trivia. The ice resin sheets and the ice resin mixing cups. All right, let me make this a little bit bigger.
Okay, are we ready?
Yes.
In the United Kingdom, what is the day after Christmas known as? In the United Kingdom, what is the day after Christmas known as?
Yes, Peggy, I will do that for the last necklace. I will show what the teal leather looks like painted. So Stephanie didn't get a reminder, Peggy didn't get her reminder, Janet didn't get her reminder either.
Yeah, I don't know why I got mine, so I just don't know what to say. Because I think like Stephanie's, I looked Stephanie up real quick and she was on the list.
We have a lot of answers rolling in.
Yeah, mine came in at 11:55 a.m. right when I expected to. Let's see here. Who's got it? It's actually Debbie over on YouTube.
Debbie Johnson?
Johnson got it over on YouTube. Yep.
Good job, Debbie. Just remember, if you win a trivia or the Big Loot giveaway, you need to have an open order with us on vintageliveshop.com so we can ship you your winning items. So Debbie Johnson won the resin sheets and the ice resin mixing cups and stir sticks. Amazing. Good job, Debbie. Beautiful.
That cracks me up every time I hear it.
I know, I love it. While Doug's gonna do his doodle, I'm gonna show you guys this necklace to look forward to. Candy got her text notification today.
Yeah, make sure you didn't block me.
Huh?
Make sure you didn't block me.
Yeah.
All right. Just as a reminder that we're still in winter.
Yay!
There you go, Debbie. Keep
Shovel a
shoveling.
snow pile.
It'll be over soon. All right, you gonna move me?
1, 2, 3. Love it. All right, so Uncle Doug's gonna come back here to grab that ice resin set for Debbie over on YouTube, and she said that she is going to place an order. Good job, amazing. That way we can ship that giveaway to her. I don't think it's gonna fit in that little bag.
No.
You'll have to put it in a big bag.
I didn't think very good.
Put it in a big bag and then put the little doodle in the big bag. So you don't have to do like a big doodle on a big bag. Ooh, that'd be crazy.
Funny.
At least it can fold or roll.
Yeah, it can roll.
Yeah. So it can fit in a mailer. Okay. I'm very excited for this necklace. This necklace looks crazy when it's on, and I love it. This will be a take home for Corian for sure, and probably those filigree earrings too. As much as I'd love to take the filigree necklace home, I just don't have space for it right now, and I'm trying to be very, very, very like, okay, I either have to take this home or I have to keep it at work. So which one is it gonna be? Because I can't keep everything at home. Peggy goes, I would never block Wonderful Doug or the Wonderful Doug. Mm-hmm. Sure. Kidding. Yes, don't forget to love react to this live too, you guys. You guys know the drill for that Big Loot giveaway at the end. Alright. We need to pull up these zinc Starburst pendants. These are zinc. I'm going to emphasize that a few times while we're doing this. Zinc base metal, not pewter. The ones on our retail and wholesale website are pewter. These ones are zinc based. So they are, in a way, they can be brittle, and I'll show you why. But they're really good for this piece and for other pieces if you don't want to cut or hole punch them. But there's specific ways you need to go about this, so pay attention. Cart 108, 16 pieces for $20. That is unheard of, okay? Jean is giving you an insane deal on these, and they are only for the zinc ones. And I only have this much zinc left. That is it. So this deal is only for the zinc base metal ones. There is a light coating of silver on this. Light. Emphasizing light and emphasizing zinc. Light silver coating, zinc base metal for the Starburst pendant pack. And I'm going to say it a few more times, but you're going to want these to start. So I think we should paint our colors first. I need to get how many more? 2 more? No, I'll do 3, and I'll just do the one side color, because it's same color, same color, same color. Yeah, that works. I don't want to take all the pieces that you guys are able to get a really good stinking deal on. Alright. So to start with our paint here, I'm actually going to flip my mat over now so it's clean. We love that. Alright. Actually, let's cut these first. I think that sounds like a better idea. Alright. I'm going to do things a little bit differently than what I did on here. Okay. So I have this loop I kept. I took the loop off this one, and I took the loop off this one. Okay. Instead, I'm going to keep the loop on this one and keep the loop on this one, but take the loop off the middle one. So that way I can flip it like this and have a loop going to this crimp and a loop going to my filigree wrap. And then I'll take the loop off this one. That just gives it a little bit more finished look. You don't have to do it that way. You don't have to do it any way in particular, but I'm going to do it just a little bit differently, but I'm letting you know. On my finished design, loop, no loop, no loop. And what I'm demoing now is going to be loop, loop, no loop. Alright. You will notice as soon as you cut this, why it's zinc and it's not pewter. You're so sweet, Aunt Jean. I'm telling you guys, these crimps, they're insane, and I want more. They're so good for this and for doubling up leather. But as soon as you cut this loop off, you're going to know that this is zinc and not pewter, because it snaps instead of like smushes, if that makes sense. Pewter's soft, so it smushes. Zinc's more hard and brittle, so it snaps. I'm going to block my eyeballs. You hear that snap? That was a snap. I'm going to clip a little bit more of this. You guys can hear it, right? Alright. You're going to want to come in with your file, because it does get a little sharp. We're going to file that loop area so it's flush. Rubbing my finger on it to make sure it's not sharp, and I'm not going to get cut on it. I'm going to kind of wave my silicone mat around, because I do have some of this leftover cut zinc on there. Alright. So, middle and end. Oh. Ha! This wasn't even gonna be a choker necklace. Okay? Okay. Let's start over. So, what made me do this in the first place, okay, is I had them set like this. No leather, no crystal wrap, just these. This is why I didn't have the loop on the bottom end. Now I'm remembering. So these were going to be earrings. The 3 Starbursts down. They were stunning. So beautiful. I absolutely wanted to do that. And then I put them on the scale. They were like 8 grams. I said, no way. Lisa's going to yell at me. She knows like what the average weight for earrings should be. It's like, what'd she say? Like 5 or 6? Like max? Once you're hitting that 7 and 8, you're really pushing it. It's more like costume jewelry at that point where you're only wearing it for a couple hours before you have to take it out. Yes, pewter is very, very easy to punch. This is a little more difficult to punch. And I'll tell you why as I'm punching it too. But these were going to be earrings. And then I threw it on the scale and I was like, I can't do that. I have to turn it into something else. Then I tried doing a bracelet with this and I was like, okay, that is a little too massive for a bracelet focal, though this looks absolutely stunning. I wouldn't mind doing a bracelet all the way around like that. But I was like, okay, at this point, I need to make this into a choker. And I was like, how the heck do I elongate this enough to make it a choker? And that's where these crimps and that leather came into play, because it's like the same width of the Starburst to the crimp, and then from the crimp leather to the next crimp. So that's why this turned into a choker. It was originally going to be earrings, and then a bracelet, and then it turned into a choker. 6 max. Okay, so yes. Lisa said 6 grams max for like everyday wear, all day wear. But once you're hitting that 7 to 8 gram, then it's more costume where you can wear it for a few hours and then your earlobes are probably going to start to hurt a little bit if you're not used to wearing heavy jewelry. So that's why this turned into what it did. So another part of my design process is figuring out, okay, well, this is too heavy to make earrings work. How do I incorporate this into another design but still keep my original idea flowing? Which happens. I will say I was a little upset with how heavy they were, but it turned into a beautiful choker, which goes wonderful with my moon choker. So we'll keep it like that. But I did want to let you guys know what kind of inspired me to do the choker, because it was supposed to be something entirely different. All right, on to paint colors. Grab some of your teal blue in the antique line. I believe that's also blue fluorite. You're going to want mermaid fin, which is also metallic aqua. And where's my other one? I'm so bad. It's not that. Hold on. Let me pull out. Okay, iridescent blue, and then the metallic blue. Found it. All right. So your color combination: metallic blue, which is also, is it beetle wing? Teal blue, which is also blue fluorite. Mermaid fin, which is also metallic aqua. And airy blue, which is airy blue. It's the same. Let me shake those up. All right. Now I'm going to give you a close look at this finish prior to. So light blue, middle blue, dark blue, and then you guys can, there's like a tiny hue of like purple that reflects in the sun. It might be a little hard to see. It might be easier to see in the photos, but it's really stunning. Oh, sorry. All right. There we go. Take that pendant pack down for now. If you need to see it, let me know. Grab a bristle brush and paper towel to dry that off. Pour some of that on. Spread that around. Beautiful. Love it. I don't want a whole lot because I still want to see the detail of the sun, of the burst there. The burst design. Pretty. Hit that with the heat gun. I forgot I unplugged that. I might need to switch up my box here. Alright. Hit that with the heat gun. Alright. Then we're going to rinse that. Dry. Then we're going to hit it with that teal blue in the center one. Make sure you mix up your paints even if you just mixed them up. If you wait a little bit in between, it's already going to start to settle. So let's say anytime you open a paint bottle lid, you should be shaking it. And you should always be closing your lids if you're not doing a direct nozzle. It will just help the life of your paints last a bit longer. Okay. It's looking pretty good for our teal blue. Hit that with the heat gun. Just rinsed out my brush, and then we're gonna do this last one with the mermaid fin, which is also metallic aqua. Spread that around. I wanted to give this a very celestial feel. In the banner photo that we used for the event, I had this necklace like up in the corner and then the rest of the copper pieces around. So the necklace was meant to be the moon, and then all the copper pieces were meant to be like the sun that's illuminating. It looked really cool. It's kind of like there was some intention behind that photo. I don't know if anybody caught it, but there definitely was. We'll dry that with our heat gun. These colors are phenomenal together. I love these colors together. They're so pretty. Okay. Then you're going to take your Erie Blue. Now, I said that there was a purpley hue. You can use iridescent violet if you want to, but the iridescent blue still gives it that hue, that purpley hue when it's over top of blue. Especially over multiple types of blue. Okay. So we're going to do some of our iridescent here. This is our iridescent blue. And that's just going on as a light coat. I'm just going to spread as much as I can around with one little drop on my pendant piece. So I'm like picking up, dropping down, and trying to make that work for the whole piece. I might need a little bit more there for this one. Beautiful. And then same with the last one. Gorgeous. I'll just pick up whatever's left on there for that one. Just gives it some dimension. Okay, hit that with the heat gun. Okay. All right. Now, so blue, violet hue, blue, violet hue. Same on this one. Show you guys what it looks like when it's reflecting, because it's very beautiful. And then that iridescent blue kind of just ties it in all together. All right. This one could have been a little more smooth. I'm just going to pat my finger down in it. Yeah. Okay. You're going to want to use your screw down hole punch. Screw down hole punch with zinc. Do not use your handheld one. I have broken several pieces using my handheld one and not my screw down one. Screw down hole punch is very important for these zinc based materials. Okay? Very important. I'm going to use the thinner of the two sizes. Right on this. Where's my beetle? I need my pointer. I just need a massive, or like a small little pointer finger. All right. Right here is where I'm going to punch my hole. I'm not going to punch it on the border. I'm going to go on the other side, on the inside of the border, and I'm going to punch right on top of this line that goes down. So right here. Not on the border. So you can take your screw down hole punch. I would get it like tight, but give yourself enough room to still move it around to get to that perfect spot. And you go up just a little bit here. It's kind of hard to see where I'm looking from. This is the 1.5 millimeter side. All right. You ladies, I trust that you know how to use this. Okay. So I need to angle this differently so I can see where the heck my punch is going, because I have 3 different lights going into my eyeballs right now. I just need to make sure that I'm making the right punch here. Alright, yeah, no, that wouldn't have been good because I'm right on the border. Push it up just a little bit. Alright. And I need to push it over just. Give me a little bit more room over. Just a little bit. I'm really OCD when it comes to using this stinking thing. Oh, yes, Candy. Use your screw down hole punch. I tried doing it a couple times with the handheld one, and I broke like 4 different pieces. Screw down hole punch is important for zinc based metals. If it was pewter, you could use that your handheld one just fine. But if it's zinc, you're going to want to use your screw down hole punch. Colors, Stephanie, metallic blue, mermaid fin, verdigris, or teal blue, not verdigris blue, teal blue. So metallic blue, mermaid fin, teal blue, and iridescent blue. There we go. If you need to screenshot that. Metallic blue, mermaid fin, teal blue, iridescent blue. Okay. Pull those off for now. Screw down hole punch, very important. Screw slow. Okay. Thanks, Carmen. Hole punch down. So this one, your middle one, you're going to do 2 screw down hole punches, 1 on either side. In those same areas on both sides. That looks to be pretty close. I mean, if it's not perfectly centered, whatever. I mean, at some point, you're just gonna be like, okay, I'm done lining this up. I'm just gonna punch it. Of course, Stephanie. That one's a little off center, but oh well. Sometimes it's hard to line it up, but I find lining it up usually is the easiest for me if I have my hole punch faced up like this and I'm holding my piece, and then I can look down from this, I can look from the side and from the top in this direction. Alright, I need to go down just a bit. I wish these screw down hole punches had like a little bit better of a line of sight, because it is incredibly difficult to use these. Hi, Cindy. Alright, that one I got a little bit on the border, but you know what I'm talking about when I'm going through those. And then the last one, which if your hole punches are a little off, it's okay. It's not going to make a huge difference, because more than likely your jump ring will cover that up anyway. And I don't think people are necessarily looking at where the holes are placed on when it's on your necklace or on your neck. Alright, this one looks pretty good. Oh, it's okay, honey. You can watch the replay. I think you'll really like it. No problem, though. Alright. So we got those. I used JR40s in between because it was like, look at that. Just enough room, but it keeps them nice and tight together. JR40s, you'll be super tight. You can use a JR45 if you want a little bit of distance in between, which I do have the 45s on hand. So I'll show you what those look like. So we have an end, our middle, and we're gonna jump ring those together. And then you're going to have your other end connecting to the other side of your middle piece. through the holes because you want your loops facing out, not in. All right. Beautiful. So that's the start of our necklace there. And then I glued chatons on as well. This one's just a little off center there. There we go. That's better. We'll do our chatons on here quick. Same concept, using that eye pin or head pin. Just to, you can see that my Loctite has glued around that, so I'll just use this one again. It's okay. It's okay. Put a dot there. Tweezers. And chaton. Okay, another dot. Dot. Tweezers and chaton. Press down. And one more dot of Loctite. Now, we don't have to put resin on the backs of these because the hole is closed, right? The hole isn't open. So there's not a need for us to put, because there's enough surface area for the chaton to stick to where it's not just going to come off. Oh no, I thought I had that on. Dang it, it came off with my tweezers. There we go. Sometimes I'll have to do that. I'll have to put it on with my tweezers and then use my finger to kind of hold it there while I pull my tweezers out, because sometimes it gets glued straight to my dang tweezers. How pretty that is, like even in the sun. The shimmer and shine. Love it. So that is one side. Going to need some crimps. Let's put on those crimps next. 12 pieces for $18. Base metal is unknown. I don't know what the base metal is of these, but I do know that they're gold. Gold coated or gold plated, one or the other. These are gold plated. Base metal is unknown. It's gonna be brass or steel, one of the two. So it's base metal that you usually work with, but I can't tell you for sure what the base metal is because I don't know personally. Part 109, 12 pieces for $18. It's got this really cool like cross hatch, but it's also like I called it a woven crimp because it reminded me of a woven basket. And then it's got these little teeth. So one side doesn't have teeth, but the other side does have teeth, which helps keep your leather in place. And it's wide, so I was able to fit two. Use a magnet. Yeah. And then it has this little loop there at the top. I don't have a magnet. Maybe. I was like, maybe I would have a magnet on a... Ah! I found it! I found one! Oh, my dang legs. That's how you know you're getting old. Your freaking legs hurt as soon as you get up out of a chair. Alright. Steel. Did you see that? Watch how crazy. These are definitely steel. Hold on. Watch how high I'm holding this up. That one already attached. Whoop! Alright, these are steel-based, gold-plated crimps. There we go. For sure steel. Those stuck super quick, super fast. Oh no, I haven't been snowboarding yet this year. Not yet. I need to get out there and work, though. I messed up my knee pretty bad, so that's been keeping me from working my second job. So I'm hoping that I'll be able to get out there soon. It's still a little tender, but I mean, at this point, I'm just about over it and just gonna say I'm just gonna go because whatever. Whatever. Yay. But if I hurt myself, you guys won't see me for a bit, so I don't think that's a good idea either. Cart 109 for the woven, steel-based, gold-plated crimps. Aunt Jean, do you mind, I don't know if that's Wendy or Jean commenting. Yeah, I hurt my knee, like, sometime in December really bad, to the point where, like, I couldn't walk or move my leg for, like, 24 hours. Ian thinks that it's a partial ACL tear, but whatever. We'll get over it. They say you can't fix it without surgery. It doesn't heal on its own. But they said that you can live with a partially torn ACL, so I'll just live with it for now. Okay, it's Wendy. Wendy's is Vintage. Jean, if you're listening, do you mind going into the crimp pack listing and updating that unknown base metal to steel? Now that we know, that would be wonderful. I would so very much appreciate it. Alright, for these crimps, I'm going to do the teal leather this time. Teal leather, so I'm going to, Peggy, my dear, I'm going to show you guys what it looks like with just the teal leather, okay? And then after it's assembled and you guys see what it looks like with the teal leather, I will paint the copper over it. Okay? I think that sounds super good. In the meantime, I'm going to roughly measure approximately how long this is based on my other necklace. So I'm going to cut, and then I'm going to cut again. You're going to want to do 4 cuts at the same time, because you're going to be using 4 pieces and not just 2. But I'm only using 2 pieces for one side, so I'm only cutting 2 pieces. You can strengthen your muscles around your tendons and be just fine as long as you don't make sharp turns or pivots. That's exactly how I injured it in the first place. And you know what's so stupid is that I was literally kneeling in my bed playing with my dogs, and I just got up the wrong way, and it just, and I'm like, oh, I can't move. I'm like, Ian, get the dogs right now. Like, I really cannot move. If they move my knee, I'm gonna die. Like, I was in so much pain. I was yelling out, I was like, get over here. Anywho, hopefully it gets better. I have my mother's knees. And track did not help with that, with long jump and triple jump and all the hard things that happen to your knees. Alright, I'm going to line up my leather at the very edge of my crimp, okay? Make sure that it's in there, but at the very edge, and I'm going to crimp down my first side. Just a light crimp, okay? I don't want anything too thick in case I need to move it around yet. And then just slowly crimp this down, tighter and tighter, because I don't want to slip with my leather and then have it crimped and then be like, oh no, it's not in the right spot. Alright, this is going to be my big crimp push. And then you're going to do it on the other side. Get your leather in there. Make sure it's lined up with the edge. So off just a little bit. Alright, here we go. Come in and start crimping that. I'm going to have to pull it over just a little bit, so I'm not going on my full crimp yet. Just enough to kind of hold it in there while I'm crimping it down. Okay. This is going to be our final crimp. I'm just being careful as I'm getting that pushed down. All right, now I'm going to come in on either side. I'm going to go from a corner, crimp, you could probably, no, I definitely didn't. It's right here. It's right down the middle. So your meniscus is right here. My mom just had, my mom's in physical therapy for her meniscus because she had to have surgery on it. But it's definitely the ACL for sure. At first though, I did think it was my meniscus because it was just super, super tight, but definitely a middle of the knee front side. All right, so after you get your two sides and your corners crimped down, you're going to come into the middle here, right in between your two leather strips, and you're just going to also crimp that. Crimp. So now your leather is going nowhere. See how tight that is? Beautiful. And I don't want to use too many of these, so I'm just going to show you that one time for your crimp end, because it's going to be the same thing on the other side. So crimp end, leather, crimp end, jump ring. And then on this side, leather, or crimp end, leather, crimp end, jump ring, clasp. So just do that same thing again for your other side of your leather here. But look at how good that teal is looking with the blue. That is stunning. And you can even probably put some paint on this. So it's like, let's do it. Let's do it right now while I'm thinking about it. I'm going to do white though. White, 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 white. Parallel pliers work great for these crimp ends. Ooh, what are those, Monica? I'm just going to put a little bit of white on here. Not a lot. At least not enough to like pull over, but I just want to see, because I just want to still see that woven design. Where's my heat gun? Let's heat gun that quick. You could do like a moonstone or metallic silver too, if you wanted. Gorgeous. We just changed our crimp from blue or from gold to white, which I think helps with that color combination a bit more. Love it. All right, now we're going to do our wrap, and then Peggy, after we do the wrap is when I'm going to paint this leather so you guys can see what it looks like, okay? So we've gone through our crimp ends, our leather, and our side pieces here. Now we need to focus on our middle piece wrap. There we go. That way you guys can kind of see it all. You're going to need some F370s. Cart 110 filigree pack, 4 pieces for $20. You guys have probably seen the larger version of this. This is the smaller version. Oh darn. I think I need to make another crystal pack. Oops. I forgot that I wrapped a crystal in the center part. Let me go grab that crystal quick. But I'm gonna see what I can do about getting that to you guys, because I forgot that was even a thing. Hold on. It's a twist. It's a twist crystal. Swarovski. Forgot to add this into the crystal pack. Oops! So this is the crystal that I use to wrap. It's like not perfectly round, so you see it's got some dimension to it. But it is a bead. Swarovski. That's what I use for the centerpiece of this. Which some of you may have that, but I'm either gonna have to make another crystal pack or something to get that to you guys. I'm sorry. Usually I'm pretty good about making sure I have all of the crystals in there, except for the ones that I can't do, but I can do this one, so. This wrap is not super, super easy. So pay attention. This is going to be a little more difficult. At least the way that I did it. You might be able to find an easier way of doing it, but gonna need some 16 gauge wire, which will go through your crystal. I'm just gonna make sure that this is flat enough to go through my crystal. Because I definitely have a lot of waves in this wire cut. Let's see here. Okay, that seems good. So I lined up my crystal, and I noticed that it fit kind of perfectly in this. So if you take these sides off here, and you just left that little flower there, it fits that like perfectly. So that's when I knew that I could fold over these sides. But it's a little flimsy. It's a little thin. So there's a specific way you need to go about doing this, because going like this and folding it over isn't going to cut it. It will not like totally hold your crystal secure. So there's a special way we went about doing this. And I'll show you on here first. So first, we do wrap up. I did break that little section there, but it's because I did this backwards because I was still designing it. So I wasn't quite understanding the way that I needed to do it, but after doing it, now I know the way that it needs to be done. Oh, perfect. Yes, that's the right crystal pack. Thank you, Jean. Okay, so Jean just put a crystal pack up in the comments that that has this crystal that we use to wrap in here. That is the right one. Thank you, Jean, for finding that. So you can use that crystal pack for this piece if you want. But we're going to fold up each of the four corners over top of the crystal from the back side first. Okay? All four corners are going to go up and over top. And then we're going to place this one on top. You're going to do that same thing. You're going to fold over corners, and then I took them and pushed them in underneath the other filigree on the top and bottom. But from side to side, I went through an existing hole of the filigree so it is secure on both sides. It might be a little bit hard to see there, but it'll make more sense once I start getting into this for you guys. So we need to fold up our corners first. You can do this with your fingers if you want, but I'm just gonna come in with my pliers. And I can fold up more if I find that it's not fitting how it's supposed to. Oh yeah, we're gonna fold up more. So I'm gonna probably come all the way up to the flower point and fold up on all of these. Pull that back down. All right. That's pretty good there. All right. I'm going to make sure that my holes are going to be pointing out either side of these 4 corners, because that's where your loop's going to go through and your other fold for your top filigree is going to go over. So with my fingers, I'm going to start my bends over my crystal here. I find that it's easier to start with your hands on this portion of the wrapping, because it's like thinner, more malleable, so you can really you can push the backside up against the way that the crystal is formed, because it's not perfectly flat, it's not a perfect circle either, it's got some waves in there. So I'm just going to do a rough indication of where I want my points to be. I'm going to cinch this a little bit. Don't cinch too much though, so you're still able to fit some things underneath if you need to, like your other wrap corners. Some of these will sit a little bit lower than others because of the way that the crystal is wrapped, or the crystal is made, the crystal shape. Get the right words out there. Looking good. Alright, but I do need to twist my crystal on the inside a little bit, so I think to make that easier, I'm going to take my 16 gauge wire, put it through, and try and twist it up just a little bit here. And I can undo some of this wrap to make it a little bit easier, because I did do the wrap with my fingers, so I could just take it apart with my fingers. That's looking okay. I like that. Let me make sure here. So this hole, beetle, yes, that crystal pack will also work. So the first crystal pack that Jean commented as vintage is the color that I'm using for this necklace. The second crystal pack that she put in there is using the topaz version, which I need to make sure that I actually have stock of that. I don't know if I do. So this hole is the hole that your wire is going to go through to make your loop. Okay? This hole. Not the one that's next to the swirls, the one directly down from it. And to do that, I'm going to fold over this, but I'm going to put through my wire first. And put my wire like this through the hole that I need it to go through. And then my bead hole. And then I'm going to fold this over. I'm going to pull my, I don't want to pull my 16 gauge wire all the way out, because it's still my placeholder for where my wrap is, but I'm going to fold down this other side. And I'm going to get this hole where our wire is coming through to go over the hole where our 16 gauge wire is going through. So pull and bend. You can keep forming with your fingers. Pull and bend. Alright, we're pretty close. So I'm going to take my wire out because it's starting to bend on the inside with me pulling and bending like that. Still doing it with our fingers. All right. Make sure I'm lined up after I get my wire straight again. So that needs to go through my crystal and my filigree. I'm going to bend this just a bit more here because I need to make that hole. I'll bend a little bit more on this side too to make that hole. All right. Gonna slide those down. Find my hole. This needs to shift over just a bit here. Where is it? Because I think, yeah, I went through both on that. If my crystal was twisted over a little bit more the other way, it would probably be a bit easier because I am going over top of some other filigree while doing this. Here we go. Find my other hole in my wire here. Well, we'll just go with the bottom hole for now. Okay, because you're going to need to make a loop on either side there. These are also going to get pulled up. And this is the point where I would fold these under. The other filigree there. Same on this side. I'm going to fold that under our top filigree if we can. If you need a little bit more space, you can shove a bead awl under that filigree. Be careful because your crystal is still there, but you can shove a bead awl in there to extend your filigree up a little bit for just enough room to poke these ends underneath. Sorry, my hand's covering it. There's just certain angles that we have to use when wrapping. Sometimes it makes it a little hard to demo, but we're getting there. I'm gonna squish this filigree up a bit to give a little bit more room. I'm probably not going to be able to fit this underneath because I am a little close to my other filigree, so keeping space in between your sections is probably your best bet. Once I create my loop, I'll squish this down so it's flush, but I'm going to create my loop now. So I'll probably do one starting from this end, make it a little thicker. Not that thick though. I'm going to cut some of that off. Hold on. Oh no. Are we back? Sorry, you guys saw Uncle Doug for a minute. I don't know what happened. I think maybe my hair switched it. Sorry, Uncle Doug. Alright. Make sure I have a pretty loop on this side. I need to have a pretty loop on the other side. This is going to secure crystal, make sure it's not going anywhere. Beautiful. Alright, now that our wrap is pretty secure, this is the point where you can come in and make sure that there is space that's flush to your crystal. I'll use my pliers and kind of just like push down the spots that I see that need a little bit more help. This one looks like it can get cinched in there more for sure. Top view might be a little stinky. Make sure she's tucked. Same on this side. Make sure it's tucked really nice. I'm probably going to bring this down as much as I can. I'll fix my loop here in a moment. Oops. Alright, where's my other chain nose here? Alright. Make sure that your loops are facing the right way. They're going to be coming out. That. Beautiful. I used what looks to be a JR. That is not what that one is. Oh, it is. Okay, well, a JR20. Two little JR20s here. There we go. Just going to hook right onto your crystal wrap, directly to your Starburst pendants that we have painted and glued chatons to. And close up that jump ring. So that's our center. And then because I cut the loop off this end, I had to use a JR01 on my first finished one, but because we kept the loop on this side, I can use a JR20, which will go loop on pendant, stack, and then loop onto the leather crimp section for our choker part of our necklace. Okay, that's looking good. So, center, we went through and painted our starbursts. We went and did our crimp into our leather. So this is what it would look like with blue leather. This is what it would look like with white leather. And then you guys wanted to see what the teal looked like painted. So I am going to do the copper over top because the copper is what sold down at the show in Virginia that I did for selling jewelry. And the lady was just absolutely in love. Absolutely in love. Alright, so our metallic copper, or our so-called dragon eye, I'm going to put on here. I'm not going to do it direct to leather because I like it when it's with the paper towel technique. I'm going to put our dragon eye or metallic copper down. I think I did demo that necklace that I had made that lady just absolutely loved so much. She's like, I have to buy it right now. And you know what's crazy is that it actually didn't fit her. Luckily, I brought my tools down and was able to create a necklace extender for her on the back. So it would still be a choker for her, but it was a little too small to begin with. So I just added a little bit of chain with a clasp and it was just perfect. And she's like, I'm buying it right now. And I'm like, okay, sounds good. All right. So copper, metallic copper, over teal. I'm trying to avoid my crimp. Not that it's like ridiculously important by any means. But this is what the leather looked like that I had sold to the lady. Just like this. It wasn't fully saturated or anything. It was just lightly antiqued. And she was just in love with it. But that does look really good with our blues. And maybe add like maybe a little bit of copper. Do we have a copper iridescent, which would be cool to do there? But I am going to saturate this a bit more. But this is what the leather looked like on the necklace that I had sold down in Virginia. So I wanted to show you that before I saturated it. Putting a little bit more on my paper towel here. But I love just the thought of undertones. The look of it too, but just the thought of it gets me going. I love the blue undertone, the teal undertone. I like the copper undertone, the white undertone. Probably do direct to nozzle on this side because this side soaks up pretty dang quick. Very nice, like warm, but still cool toned. I'll do a little bit more up here. And drag it down. All right. Gorgeous. Gorgeous, gorgeous. This is what teal leather looks like when it's painted over. You can saturate it to make it, I mean, that's pretty dang close. This one I just like, this one's a little more saturated, so it's a little thicker. It feels thicker. But, I mean, seriously, you can change the color of any leather to match what you need it to. Teal leather. Teal leather is now copper leather. That's crazy. And I do really like the under, like the brownie teal. Love it. So teal, copper, or white. Or, you know, you could do brown leather. Brown leather would look really pretty. Black leather would look really pretty, even without colors. All right. But that is my last necklace for today. We don't have any more trivia, but I do have a big loot giveaway. So I'm going to do the look quick so you guys can see what the jewelry looks like on. We'll do the big loot giveaway, and then we'll get you out of here. This one was a little bit of a longer live, but I used a lot more different pieces today, and this demonstration in particular took like an hour as it is. Because it's so, like, I don't want to say it's, like, super difficult, but it's definitely on the higher of the technique lists. We'll pull that down. Let me know if you guys need to see any cart numbers. Oh no. Hold on. If I double tap the back of my phone, it like turns it into just my normal phone camera. Okay. We'll do you down here. We'll go like a little bit of pretty light coming in. Maybe adjust this light a little bit. Hold on. Let me get this light. This will probably help brighten things up. Oh yeah. Now I have light coming from outside. That feels good. And I'll get rid of this really big harsh light over here. Beautiful. All right. Thanks, Pegs. Let's get into the look here. We'll put on this one first. to make sure it's going the right way here. I'm grabbing my clasp and my jump ring. This one's literally incredible. Hold on, I gotta put up my neck a little bit more. Cause it's an even higher choker than the choker I wear every single day. Alright, this needs to be flipped the right way though. Okay, that looks good. Let me switch this? That actually might have been a little too harsh. Hold on. Let me block a little bit of that out. There we go. Okay. First necklace. Which it's entangled a little bit. How gorgeous, guys. This crimp and this leather is so comfortable. So comfortable. Little punk. Go back here. I love it. It's coming home with me. Give you a full view. Do it like I was taking the picture. It's gorgeous though. And it fits in such a flattering area of the neck too. I love it. Thank you for joining me, Carmen. Seriously, I wouldn't be able to do this if it wasn't for everybody who watches every week. Hold on. I would love to pop up your comment here, but my comments are a little bit behind. I'll do it here in a moment. All right. This was... Oh! I'm so dumb. Okay. This, without this. What? I should have, instead of a choker, I should have just stuck with the bracelet idea and just taken my big middle piece off and just done a row of these. Let's say like 6 of those. And then just the back area with the leather crimps. What? That would have been so easy. And that's so comfy too. What the heck? This is what the copper leather would look like. Well, it's a little hard to see with my hand positioning, but that's okay. Oh, this gorgeous girl. See, doesn't it look like a sunflower? That's why I called it the sunflower filigree. It would make a pretty bracelet. Okay. What do you guys think? Okay, there's long. Long is pretty. Long is very pretty. I will say. All right. But my poor comments. I wish I could freaking do that. Okay. Here we go. Beautiful. Getting some comments up here. Because they're finally starting to load for me. I wish I could put up Carmen's comment like right before her current comment, but it's not showing up for me yet. It might in a little bit though. Okay, so long. Just bring it up a little bit. You guys. What the heck? This is seriously just the most gorgeous layering collection ever. That is so pretty. Ooh. Someone take a picture right now. Right now. That was really cool with how the sun was coming through the back window like that. That's stunning. Oh, lovely. And I love the leather accent here. Love it. Love it, love it, love it. We'll keep that one on. Not that I'm going to take it home or anything, but you never know. I might just decide that. Alright. And then let's get up. Oh yeah, got it. Some of these earrings don't like to go in right away. Hold on. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Those are incredible. So stinking pretty, you guys. I called it like, it's like a sunflower necklace, Debbie. Yeah. There we go. So I'm wearing like a whole collection right now. I might as well put in all of my earrings there. It does, for sure. So that's another reason why I do the looks at the end. Because some things look phenomenal photographed. And I mean phenomenal. But once you put it on, you're like, that's not for me. Sometimes things aren't photographed phenomenal, right? But once you put it on, you're like, oh my goodness. That makes so much sense. I love you, Pegs. I love the bottle earrings too. Our ancient urn. What did I call them at one point? I said something about a perfume bottle. Goodness, why can't I get these in? I just got one in. So, what did I call that? I said something. Well, not, was it Etruscan? No, I didn't use that word. I used something else. Something. Okay, there we go. Something perfume bottle. Okay. I got these really cool earrings in now. These ones are coming home. Look at that. Look at that. With the choker and the other choker and the big necklace. This is a whole collection, you guys, layered together. These earrings are freaking cool. They're so cool. Thanks, Debbie. You're amazing. Oh, yep. I'm just gonna get ready. Get ready for my day here at work. Just picking out my jewelry. These last earrings, these ones are really pretty. Super, super pretty. If you, let me check, honey, Janet. So it says there's 7 left of the crimp pack. If you don't get anything in your messenger for it, just go buy it off of vintageliveshop.com. Remember, we don't charge shipping for domestic orders. You can order how many times. I ship orders once a week here for the live shop, at least for the live demos. But I combine all those. So there's a certain way I have to put stupid earrings in now. It's so dumb. I have to like push out my earlobe like from behind, put the ear wire there, and then thread it through. So dumb. Okay. Yep. Today is probably a favorite for sure. Absolute favorite. Absolutely beautiful. I mean, seriously. You can't get what we do anywhere else. This is insane. Be like, hold on. Yep. Oh, make sure you see my ears. I'm gonna poke my ears out and be Dobie. Just kidding. Just kidding. Thanks, Kat. Kat said, I have the best job ever, which why did that do that? I wasn't even pressing anything. Which this job is, listen, it's got its ups and downs, for sure. And when you're working with unlimited staff, which you guys know, it's, me, Uncle Doug, and my little brother over here. You got Jean and Ains in Idaho and Wendy. That's it. Running the whole company. I mean, you have like Krista for customer care and Aunt Nancy for finance and stuff, but like hands on here at this building, we have 3 people for everybody. So, though it may be one of the best jobs ever, I'll tell you what, sometimes that stuff gets stressful. And you guys are always keeping us on our toes with all the orders and stuff, but hey, we wouldn't be able to do this without you. You ladies that come in and order every single week, that watch our lives every single week, that push our traffic organically every single week. You guys are the reason why we're here. There have been so many bead shops and bead magazines and stores and all that have just closed. And we don't want to do that. So you guys are our lifeline. We love you. We love you. Awesome, Janet. Janet ordered the crimps from the live shop. All right. To be notified, I'm going to say this one more time, of the live events and classes, text live to 855-948-2148. Reminders are sent 5 minutes before the event begins. Also, our pre-orders are included in those text messages. So, if you want to know when the heck Warehouse Sale Live's pre-orders are active, just in case there's like super low quantity and you don't want to miss anything, sign up for those text messages. I try and get that out immediately. Yes. Shelby over on YouTube, Idaho. So, half of the team is in Idaho, half of the team is here in Illinois, Galena, Illinois. She's over there on YouTube. All right. So, I think that concludes all of that. Now, for the last matter of business, I'm going to bring Uncle Doug here on in a minute. I'm going to make sure you guys get a full view of how stinking huge this Big Loot giveaway is. Look at that. All of that can be yours just for love reacting to the live. And you can claim it by having an open order with us on vintageliveshop.com. Love it. It's literally free to enter. Free. Free. Just have to love. Oh, we love you too, Peggy. We do. All right. Let's bring Uncle Doug on here. Hello, Uncle Doug.
Hello.
Oh, we have 2 of
You
me.
were
Hold on.
definitely inspired today.
Oh, yes.
We got a lot done over here while you were going.
Yes. Oh, and I've been designing things earlier than typical, trying to, give you guys at least the weekend to see what's coming up for the next week, so on and so forth. But I have one of my designs finished for next week if you guys want to see it. Let me know in the comments if you want to see the design for next week that I have completed already. And while we're doing that, I'm going to copy over the Facebook names. And then, Uncle Doug, do you mind teamsing me the YouTube names?
Right now. I love the new cadence, by the way. I love the Wednesday thing, and I love that we can get the orders out quicker. It's making a big difference, I think.
Yeah. All right, so I have my YouTube entries over here.
Your YouTubes or your Facebooks?
My Facebooks.
I just sent you. Okay. All right. I just sent you the YouTubes, so you can add them to the list for the drawing.
Perfect.
Paste, sort, scramble.
Kat, Debbie, Pam, Amanda, and John and Janet. I will make sure that you are not in here double.
I think Janet was also commenting over on Facebook, right? So.
Yep, I'm gonna sort this by name first, see if I have any doubles, and then I will shuffle, and then so Janet Wolf was on both, so I'm gonna get rid of her second.
Oh, we have hey, Ricky Middleton, you better like the YouTube and subscribe. We'll put you in the drawing if you do that.
Yes, you must
I just
like the video.
just commented down here. So, and I never know who's watching on YouTube or Facebook. So making comments once in a while is really helpful for us to know who's in the audience.
All right, I have removed my duplicates.
No, I got to give you one more name here.
I have Ricky's in there.
Oh, do you? Okay.
Yeah.
Fast. Way to
Shuffle.
go.
Shuffle. Full screen. All right. To win the big.
Oh, nice swirl.
It's brass themed. Do you like it?
It almost looks like yin yang.
1, 2, 3. Remember, you can only win once every 6 months.
Yesenia?
Ooh.
Yesenia Paez Khalid.
She is also, I'm trying to recall here. Hold on. Pallid. She's also Maria. She's referred to as Maria as well.
Ah, this is how we know Maria?
Yes.
We know her Maria
Pallid.
Okay.
Or Yesenia.
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 Yesenia. I don't believe that either Maria or Yesenia has won.
Amazing.
So that's awesome.
Perfect. All right. We need to comment her in there. Oh no, you're fine. You can, you guys, you can like and love on both platforms, YouTube or Facebook. Totally fine. I just sort by name and then just remove duplicates. So don't worry. You can like and love and subscribe on any and all platforms, every single video. That doesn't matter. Huh. Vintage. The idea of people being able to be entered twice if they hop on over to YouTube and share as well, something to keep in mind for next week. Potentially. Thank you, Carmen. I'm looking forward to seeing you there. Oh, I found your other comment. There we go.
I'm gonna put Maria Khalid. It'd be easier.
Yes, please.
On
yes.
On the doodle.
Yep. Just that's how I know her orders, is because they're labeled Maria. All right, so
well,
that's
I'm gonna
Maria's.
This actually looks a little Maria-y.
That's cute.
Here's the little doodle, Maria doodle.
Did you comment her name?
I didn't, but I will.
Okay. Because I can just copy it here because I have it up, and then I can maybe tag her and be like, "Hey, honey, you won." All right, winner, Yesenia.
No.
Okay. Good job, girlfriend. And I'll just have to ensure that she's got an open order with us. She does. So she will be claiming that big loot giveaway. And then Pam, which I think she still wants to claim her big loot giveaway. So she will need to place an order as well by Monday. Otherwise, we will refresh that one. Winner. Good job, everybody.
Refresh. Hey, refresh means that someone else gets a chance to win it.
Oh, yes.
Right?
Yes.
That's what refreshing means.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right. I think that's all I have for you guys today. Vintage, do you and Ainsley have something planned for Friday? Oh, well, she comments that really quickly. Let me go grab the bracelet that I made for next week already. Woo-hoo! So, if you guys can't tell, my dear Lisa Mack has been on my mind lately. For whatever reason, no idea. She's just been on my mind. You guys have probably heard me refer to her probably 5 different times during this live. I message with her, so on and so forth, but she has been on my mind. And I created something that I feel she would be very inspired by. And so, for starters, it's a bracelet. She loves her crosses. So it's a cross in the bracelet. Then you have your little promise connectors, which we, promise. And then believe 2 tags on either side. So it's like, believe in Christ. As a bracelet. With your little chatons. Hold on. And you guys gotta see it because it's really cute on. But I've just been totally thinking about Lisa recently, and I know there's been a ton of requests for this cross in particular. But it's super cute. Hold on. I gotta get you a better view here. Since it's a little dark in here yet. Oops. I'll take some cute pictures or whatnot, but promise connector, chaton, believe, into the cross. It looks very cute on. But just
That's
something
very
to
pretty.
something to look forward to for next week. It's very
And
cute.
it's got that mixed metal too again.
Yep, mixed metal. And I've been trying to do a lot where you can choose between a bracelet or a connector or a choker design. So also would be a phenomenal choker if it was set lower. But you know what I mean. Don't
And
you
if the
think
cross
Lisa
return,
will love it?
if the cross were turned the other way too.
Oh,
it goes
yeah,
better
well,
with the bracelet because of the way the cross is pointed.
yes, you
Yeah.
wear a bracelet like this.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes. Or a choker like this. I would
Well,
not.
when you turn
I
wearing
was
the
not
bracelet.
doing. I was not intentionally
No,
trying to do.
that's not what I
Okay.
meant.
Okay.
I mean, when you wear it as a bracelet and you look at your hand like this, you're seeing the cross
Oh,
in
yeah.
its proper orientation.
Yes. But very cute either way.
Yeah. Yeah.
Is that better?
Well, it's better for us, but for you, it's upside down when you look at it.
Right. But I'm saying, like, in reference to you guys.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's the right.
I was like,
That's
is
what
that better?
you'd like to see.
Okay. Ooh. Forest
Yeah,
theme.
over on YouTube, we got Debbie says she definitely wants this, and we got Shelby liked and subscribed today. Ricky Middleton new.
Amazing.
So we got some new friends over on YouTube. Nice to have you with us.
So Jean and Ainsley will be going live noon Central Time on Friday for a forest theme with lichen moss effect. Ooh.
Is that open to all, or is that
yes.
a master?
Yes, it's
Okay.
open to all. And then this month, I will be back doing the backstage vintage stash review at the end of the month. But that will also be broadcasted to everybody. So we can be like, come on, come be a member.
Right.
You're getting
Here's
so
what
many points.
if you're not subscribed, here's what you're missing.
It's
Yeah.
so worth it. So worth it. Of course, Sherry. I love giving you guys little sneak peeks. You guys can always follow Jewelry by Corian on Instagram or Facebook, and I love giving sneak peeks on there too, whether it's stories or posts, because I don't necessarily want to clog up the Vintages feed, especially if we already have to post these at least once. I don't want to post them 4 different times on there, so if you guys want a sneak peek, just to come over to the other side.
Are you
It's
stalling?
the same side, but
Are you
it's the other
stalling for
side.
some? Hey, Corey, are you stalling for some kind of record here?
What? For 4
3:47
hours?
p.m.
Yeah.
Yeah, 3:47 p.m.
Yeah. I have to make up. I have to make up for my short live last week. All right. That's enough,
Okay, that's what it
though.
is.
I'll let you
That's
guys
what
get
it
to
is.
it. I know Kellen's probably like, I'm hungry. I want to go home.
Yeah,
Is that
got the
right,
big
Kellen?
nod.
Is
Yeah,
he
that's
over there
right.
still?
Big nod. Yeah, he's over. He's over
Okay,
there.
I'll come say bye. All right, you beautiful ladies.
All right.
You guys are amazing. So supportive, loyal. We love each and every single one of you. And seriously, we appreciate every single one of you for joining us here every single week and buying from us every single week. And also sharing your inspiration with us in DIY with Vintage. But look forward to Jean and Ainsley's live, noon Central Time on Friday for a forest theme. And we will wrap back around next Wednesday. Sound good? All right. We love you guys. Bye.
Bye.